Hey. She log on, camera on, let it breathe. Reads the facts and she cuts through the weeds. No fake smile, no borrow ring. If it's bogus, she gon' say that thing. Black queen in her own lane. Speaks her mind, don't chase no fame. Got a joke, got a point, got class. If the room get tense, she still talk fast. She don't flinch, she don't fall. If the truth get ugly, she let it show. And the ones who talk loud still watch her glow. They can roll their eyes, but they know, they know. Jazz Noelle, tell it true. Jazz Noelle, do what you do. Haters hate, she still up here. She bring the facts and the laugh in here. Jazz Noelle, tell it true. Jazz Noelle, do what you do. Never phony, never small. Stand up tall, she says it all. If the clip don't match, she rewind. If the story shaky, she draw the line. She can roast real clean, keep it sweet. Then hit that point like, baby, please. Always ready with a side-eye grin. Call it out, then she dive back in. Her voice got weight, her wit got spark. She leave that room with a bigger heart. She don't flinch, she don't fall. If the truth get ugly, she let it show. And the ones who talk loud still watch her glow. They can roll their eyes, but they know, they know. Jazz Noelle, tell it true. Jazz Noelle, do what you do. Haters hate, she still up here. She bring the facts and the laugh in here. Jazz Noelle, tell it true. Jazz Noelle, do what you do. Never phony, never small. Stand up tall, she says it all.
Yo, 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 yo. We're back like we never left. Wait, hold on.
She got grace in the sharpened eye. When the noise get wild, she stay composed.
Jeez.
One good laugh, then she
What's going on? Happy Monday. Listen, you pulling back up. What's going on, Ben? Look at you early today. Look at you. Thank y'all for being here. What's going on? Sam Moon, how you doing? How you doing? Welcome in, welcome back. I'm here, y'all. Hit the like button, please. Hit that like button for me. Y'all, we got a little show today. I'm just giving y'all some updates on this Nolan Wells case. Obviously, they're gonna piss me off. You would not believe what his so-called friends have now done in light of his death. We're gonna get into it. We're gonna talk about some updates and a couple more other things surrounding the story. So make sure you hit the like button, share the video, like this video when you are done, you guys. Hype me up, hype me up, hype me up. Make sure you come on in and like it. And we are going to go, you're right. It is, we're going to talk about today. We're going to talk about today. I'm excited. Let me turn this music down just a little bit more. Okay. Thank y'all so much for pulling up today. On this lovely Monday evening. Okay? Listen, we got to talk about it. We're going to stay on it. I know every stream as of late has been about this case with y'all. I'm passionate about it. I'm trying to figure out what they call them. No, was their best friend. You know, he was like a brother. They loved him. They grew up together, etc., etc. But these mugs went out their way to do a GiveSendGo to profit off of No-No's death. This is where we are now. This is how it's turned out. Instead of using their energy to find answers for Nolan's death, they're putting up GiveSendGos and raising money because they are being falsely accused of having something to do with Nolan's death. Mind you, again, the only people you should be worried about accusing you are Nolan's parents or Nolan's attorney. Neither of them have done any of that. So I'm confused on why you're so upset. Who cares what we say? We're not going to be able to prove anything. We're not going to be able to put you in jail, arrest you or anything. Who cares what people are thinking? And you have to also understand the reason why people are suspicious is because you acted suspicious after your homeboy died. You left room for interpretation. You left room for us to come to our own conclusions because y'all leaving shit out and you're not being honest. So we're going to talk about that today. And we're going to talk about how these people are dead ass evil. Then there's another development with the GPS signal, right? More things are coming out where what happened that day, what time they left, different places that they hit. GPS locations are hitting on different areas that aren't in alignment with their story. The stories are falling apart, which is why they're working overtime to try to remove themselves of any type of suspicion. But the more they do that, the more suspicious they look. So y'all, we're going to get right into it. Make sure you hit the like button. Please hit it up. I'm going to pull up this first video. Matter of fact, give me 1 second. Hit the like button. I'll be right back.
Let 'em try. She got grace in the sharpened eye. When the noise get wild, she stay composed. One good laugh, then she lets it go. There's Noelle, tell it true. There's Noelle, do what you do. Haters hate, she's still up here. She bring the facts and the laugh in here. There's Noelle, tell it true. There's Noelle, do what you do. Never phony, never small. Stand up tall, she says it all.
Y'all said I'm getting drowned out. Okay, let me turn the music down a little bit more. It sounds low on my end, so it may be sounding louder on you guys' end. Sorry about that. Y'all can hear me loud and clear now? Y'all can hear me loud and clear? Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now, Mr. Herman? Thank you for being here. Y'all can hear me loud and clear now? My bad. I be sounding low on my end. Okay, we good? Okay, perfect. Perfect. Okay. So y'all make sure you like the video. I'm gonna be saying that a lot. We gotta get in the algorithm. Okay? So make sure you do that before you do anything else. And again, if you want to engage, of course we'll engage and we'll chit-chat in the chat. But make sure if you have a question for me or if you want to engage directly, send a super chat. Show some love. Let's get into it. Let's engage. And then also, as you guys know, if you want to support the channel via Cash App, my Cash App is $more jazz. Okay? So let's go ahead and pull this up. I don't even have a video for y'all to review. We're going to go ahead and jump right into this GiveSendGo campaign. Because when I heard about this, mind you, this was just within a couple days, right? We went live on Saturday. Them motherfuckers didn't waste no time. It's Monday. And here we are, which leads me to believe this was always like a plan for them. It's very strange. But let's get into it. So first of all, I want y'all to get into this. She pissed me off so bad. Because how diabolical can you be? By playing the victim in light of your homeboy who has mysteriously died after hanging out with you. Now all of a sudden you have become a victim. Now all of a sudden you need to do all of these things. You got to lawyer up to protect yourself because of death threats, which I don't believe they're getting at all. And if they are, they're sending it to themselves to throw people off. I don't believe it for 1 second. That's just me. But let's just get into it. So this is on GiveSendGo, and we all know what GiveSendGo is, right? It's basically like the Christian version of a GoFundMe. But you got to watch out because, these Christians be real weird, right? And so what this platform is known to do, it's known for platforming racists, right? And allowing racists to raise money on their platform. And I say this because y'all don't remember. Let me remind you, there was a story of, I think her name was Shiloh, this white woman that called a little black boy in a park the N-word, hard ER, right? the internet did what the internet does, blasted her ass, dragged her. You know what I mean? I think she may have lost her job or whatnot. That lady went on GiveSendGo to raise money. She did she did. She was the one in the wrong. She was the one that messed up. She was the one that verbally accosted a child. Racially accosted a child in a park. And she was able to go on that platform to raise thousands of dollars for her protection. This lets you know, don't ever try to tell me that racism doesn't exist. Don't. The way that they come out to support other races in these situations is very telling. So let's get into it. I'm gonna blow it up so y'all can see it better. Hold on, let me see. Okay. So get into it, y'all. This is on GiveSendGo. Actually, we're just gonna do it like this. This is on GiveSendGo, okay? Mind you, oh my God. When I saw this earlier, right, they had already raised $88,000. Now they are at $98,000. Their goal is $100,000. Just within a couple hours, they've almost hit their goal, right? So let's get into what it says. It says, stand with Nolan Wells, targeted friends. Stand with Nolan Wells, targeted friends. Not stand in the fight for Nolan Wells, justice for Nolan. We need to find out what happened for Nolan. We're raising our own campaign to figure out what happened. No. This is about them now. This is about them being victims, being targeted. Mind you, who's targeting you? Not that family. Maybe we are, but who gives a fuck about us? We ain't got no power. But okay. So it says, on Independence Day, weekend of 2026, lives were changed forever when a group of friends lost their best friend, Nolan Wells. No family should have to endure the pain of losing a son, and no friend should have to grieve the loss of a brother, right? Also, you guys be aware, this campaign was started by Warren's father. Warren is the one that sat down with Officer Ding Dong. Warren is also the one photographed in this picture right here. Okay? Just so you know. So it goes on to say, but instead, now mind you, it should only be about losing a son, losing a friend, losing a brother, etc. But there's always a but with these people, right? But what about me? Well, what about what I'm going through, right? So here's what they say. But instead of being allowed to mourn, what followed was an unprecedented online campaign of accusations, harassment, threats, and defamation. We don't give a fuck. And you shouldn't either if you're innocent. But let's continue, okay? Because they're full of shit. They are full of defecation, okay? So then it says, since Nolan's death, Warren Hudson, Jack Spatalo, Morgan Seymour, and many others have been inundated with death threats, threats of violence, and defamation. They have been falsely and wrongly blamed by individuals online in the media of either directly or indirectly having a hand in Nolan's death. Where are they doing that at? Where are they doing that at? Nobody has yet to do that. In fact, one of the first things that Nolan's parents said, and specifically his mother, one of the first things they said was, we're not blaming anybody. We just want answers. We're not pointing the finger at anybody that was with him. We just want answers. Is it that guilty conscience? Is it that guilty conscience that got you feeling like, oh, they're looking at us. They're looking at us. Ain't nobody said shit about y'all. Who cares what a YouTuber has to say, right? So then they say they have been falsely and wrongly blamed by individuals online and in the media of either directly or indirectly having a hand in Nolan's death. Most of them could not even attend their own best friend's funeral. And I don't give a hell dookie dog If my best friend dies, I don't care if the people are thinking that I have something to do with it. If I know that I'm innocent and I have nothing to do with his death or her death or their death, whatever the case may be, I'm showing up to that funeral. The mother, the father, the family didn't say they couldn't come. What did you all think? Especially if they were welcoming of you. What were you afraid of? What, you thought it was going to be a mob outside ready to beat you up? That wasn't going to happen. That wasn't going to happen. You didn't go to that funeral because you knew you were guilty. It wouldn't sit right with you. It wouldn't also look right to go to his funeral after you deactivated all of your accounts before the world even knew that this boy was missing. That's why you didn't go. Not because you were afraid something was going to happen to you. Wasn't nobody going to touch y'all. Wasn't nobody going to say anything to y'all. If y'all were innocent and that was your boy, it would have been like, okay, that actually, for me, because I said this several streams ago, if them boys don't show up to that funeral claiming to be as innocent as they claim to be, then that should let you know them niggas ain't innocent. They're not innocent, right? You didn't go to that funeral because you didn't want to. You didn't care. Just like you didn't care to leave him on that island. Y'all left him. Y'all did. That is a truth. Y'all left him on that island while he was drunk, right? While he was all intoxicated and high, whatever y'all trying to say. And then deliberately chose not to give him his belongings from getting on one boat to another, allegedly. Y'all said, get on the boat, Nolan. He said, no, I want to stay here with Katie, which that also is crumbling now. Apparently there's a new development where Katie was actually on the boat with them. It's one story after the next. But I said, if you don't show up to that funeral, that lets you know that you have something to do with it. So you're furthering making yourself look more suspicious. Hands down, right? Most of them could not even attend their own best friend's funeral, which is bullshit. Why? Because race baiters sent deranged army after them online in the name of justice. Prove it. Prove it. Where are the threats? Where are the threats? Homeboy mama is a judge. Why she ain't come out? The person who allegedly was threatening her and her family, they got arrested right away. But you're claiming that you couldn't come to your best friend's funeral because of what people are saying online? Mind you, the funeral was what? A week later? Yeah, that was probably enough. But still, meaning that was enough time for people to start dragging y'all because of how y'all was moving after we found out that he passed away or that he died. But now you're saying, what are you saying? Race baiters is what scared you away from going to your own friend's funeral. You should be going back. You should be clapping back at the race baiters. And who's really race baiting? Because even when Nolan's parents were asked, do you guys think race has anything to do with Nolan's death? They blatantly and very clearly said, no, we don't think that is the case. We don't want to think that. We don't think that at all. So who's race baiting you so much to put that much fear in you where you can't go pay your respects for your so-called bestie? Shut the fuck up. You're lying. Since the beginning of the investigation, these young men have cooperated with authorities, have they? Turned over all the information they had and provided an overwhelming number of witnesses accounting for their whereabouts. Some of them even resorted to speaking up publicly to defend themselves against baseless allegations. Again, who is accusing you? The people that you should be worried about accusing you is Nolan's parents and the attorneys. None of them have done any of the sort as of yet. But unfortunately, it has become clear that the truth doesn't matter. The truth doesn't matter to you guys because you all are trying to hide in plain sight is what you're doing, right? You're trying to make it seem like, no, we want to stand for Nolan. But now you're making it all about you, playing this victim card, trying to make it seem like people are only coming at you because you're white when we're coming at you because you're not being truthful. You're not being forthcoming. And the state has yet to release any witness statements, has yet to release y'all statements on y'all accounts on what happened on that boat. You sat there with Officer Tatum and said that some of y'all took a stress test to determine if you were lying or not. But that also revealed that not all of you did that test. And Warren specifically, the one that's been talking, he declined to take that test. So it's not that we're just pointing the finger at you for no reason. Your actions are making you look weird, bro. Come on now. The audacity, right? So it goes on to say countless large voices across social media declared them guilty of crimes they could not have committed and have never been charged with. Their names, faces, and personal information were spread across the internet. They and their families have received thousands of hateful messages, death threats, and calls for violence. Hey, Nolan is dead, though. Nolan is actually dead. And we still don't have any answers. You said we don't care about the truth. No, y'all don't care about the truth. Because it's very clear y'all have been lying. But why do you care so much about being cyberbullied more than you care about what happened to your homeboy? Why is this a thing? Who cares what people on the internet are doing? They can't put you in jail. I don't understand the outrage, right? You know, it's given, okay, y'all know I'm guilty, but you're not supposed to know I'm guilty. You're not supposed to allude to us being guilty. You're not supposed to insinuate. You're not supposed to think or anything like that. But who cares? If you're innocent, you're innocent, and it will show. If you were truly innocent, it will be very clear that you are, right? So it goes on to say they and their families have received thousands of hateful messages, death threats, and calls for violence. They have been threatened online and in person countless times. Who threatened you in person? Did they go in jail? Did they get arrested? I don't believe these people are getting threats, y'all. I really don't. I think it's bullshit. So it says there have been bomb threats, packages sent, incredible threats of which arrests have been made. Parents have feared for their children's safety. Lives have been turned upside down, and some have had to go into hiding again. Nolan is dead. Nolan is dead. I don't give a fuck about an online threat, a bomb threat. And who's doing it? Since y'all so swift in finding justice for that judge from who and arrested so-and-so for sending threats. Who's sending y'all bomb threats? Really? You doing all this for your safety? All this, we got to go into hiding? Why? Be forthcoming and say, I don't know why y'all blaming us. We're innocent. But y'all moving guilty. So don't get mad when people come to that conclusion. This itself is a guilty move, in my opinion. This does not look like that you're trying to do anything but make it seem like you're not the one that's involved with this. But clearly you are. Hold on, y'all. So these mother truckers. So they say, so it goes on to say, there have been bomb threats, packages sent, lives have been turned upside down, and some have had to go into hiding. Al Sharpton, Ben Crump, see, this is who they mad at. Listen to the language. Al Sharpton, Ben Crump, and the usual suspects of social media personalities, national news media, and local provocateurs continue to invent and spread false narratives and lies with no accountability. Again, when has Ben Crump ever come out to blame y'all for anything? Truly. Do y'all? Let me know in the chat. Have Ben Crump has been talking about this since he's been talking about it. I ain't heard that man blame them boys for nothing. Nothing at all. They don't even mention him. They don't mention these boys. They continually say, we just want a thorough investigation and we want the truth. We want the truth. We just want answers. What happened to Nolan? Something isn't adding up. They're just questioning the things that y'all are saying. They're questioning the things that y'all want us to believe. That's all. And that's okay. A boy is dead. A child is dead. Someone's son is dead. And you're more so concerned about media personalities looking at you as a person of interest. That's on you, buddy. You know what they love to say, buddy? Yeah, that's on you. So it goes on to say, this is typical tactic of Ben Crump and the like. They come to communities like the Gulf Coast under the guise of seeking justice, but it has become painfully clear that their version of justice is stirring division, ruining lives, and then leaving when the money is dried up. We have seen the pattern time and time again recently, most recently during the Carmelo Anthony trial. Now, here's the thing. We all know that Ben Crump and Al Sharpton, people have questions about their intentions at times. Some people think that they, what do they call them? Ambulance chasers, that they kind of only show up when a black person dies at the hands of police or another white person, right? But they're using that. They're using that scenario or that narrative, to paint this picture to try to make it seem like Ben Crump is only there now to do X, Y, and Z. You can formulate that opinion, but to say that they are only doing it in that way with no actual proof, and you're just going off of it because of a rumor and narratives that are swirling around Ben Crump, that's nasty work. Because again, these men have never come out to blame these boys or their parents or anybody else involved having done anything wrong to Nolan. Y'all are taking that on. It's hitting y'all in the chest for some reason. Ben Crump ain't never said that. And I'm just asking, when can you show us the proof that, yeah, Ben Crump said X, Y, and Z. He made it about race. None of them ever did that. But it's become painfully clear that the version of justice is stirring division, ruining lives, and then leaving when the money is dried up. We have seen the pattern time and time again, most recently during the Carmelo Anthony trial. And let's not even talk about Carmelo Anthony, because we ain't heard shit about that, have we? We ain't heard nothing else about that case at all whatsoever, because they did the same song and dance, right? And you're right. It is very interesting that Ben Crump didn't show up, but hey, that's neither here nor there. That's neither here nor there in this particular situation. Let's move on. So no matter what anyone believes about an ongoing investigation, our legal system exists for a reason. And your legal system has always worked against Black bodies. Your legal system, especially in Mississippi, was literally designed to lawfully or legally do away with Black people. Mysterious deaths, mysterious drownings, all ruled suicide. If there's a white people involved, they're not getting arrested. They're not going to jail. So why are you talking about the legal system? It's not working and has not worked in our favor since it was created, especially in this country. So you can go to hell with that. If evidence, he says, evidence belongs in the hands of law enforcement and the courts, and not in online mob campaigns fueled by rumors, edited clips, edited audio, speculation, or misinformation. This must stop. This fund is created for the sole purpose of fighting these individuals. And where's the money going? You're raising money. You're raising $100,000 to do what? Y'all all come from well-off, wealthy families. One of y'all mamas is a judge. Another one of y'all daddies is a doctor. What are you raising $100,000 to fight these people? To fight who? To fight people on the internet that are just talking? But no raising money, no candlelight visuals, none of those things for Nolan. Not standing in solidarity, not pulling up to the funeral, none of that. But you got to do all this campaigning to raise money against people talking shit on the internet? People who don't matter? That makes absolutely no sense. And baby, I hate to, actually, I don't hate to say this. It's giving guilty. What are we talking about? And the fact that you pledged $50K, just $50K to find answers for Nolan, but $100K to fight against people on the internet that are allegedly accusing you of having something to do with Nolan's death. Like, can we please stop? Our goal is simple and twofold. Our first goal is to raise money to defend these friends against incoming wrongful death actions filed by attorney Ben Crump and his team. Wait a minute. What would him filing a wrongful death suit have to do with you if you didn't have anything to do with his death? They may file it as a wrongful death because the autopsy was botched. We didn't get his throat. We don't have any investigation on his lungs. There's bruising on the back of his head. The autopsy was inconclusive. And we still have no real answers. So they're going to file a wrongful death because something went wrong if they did not have his organs back to determine how he fucking died. But that doesn't mean that they're going to accuse you for it. So why are you fighting against a way to find more answers in regards to his death? You're going to file a lawsuit against them if they want to file a wrongful death suit? What the fuck does that have to do with you? That's weird. Okay. The second one, our second goal is to fund a robust legal team to sue for the litany of slander and libel spread. Libel and libel? Is that a word? I don't know. Litany of slander and lies being spread by not only Crump, but also many social media influencers, news outlets, and local provocateurs who know better. Again, where are they saying that? Where's Ben Crump accusing y'all of anything? It hasn't happened yet. So then he goes on to say, this is not about silencing legitimate discussion or respectful disagreement. People are free to ask questions and express opinions, which is what we've been doing. That's all we've been doing, is expressing our opinions and asking questions. He says this is about drawing a line against defamation, targeted harassment, threats of violence, doxing, intimidation, and coordinated campaigns that destroy lives before the facts are known. This is what they more so care about, their reputation, how it looks in the media when it comes to these boys. But I'm sorry, sir. Your boys look guilty. All y'all look guilty. All y'all in cahoots at this point. The judge, you who created this campaign, the DA, the governor, the sheriff. It looks bad. We know the risk of you may feel outwardly supporting Warren, Jax, Morgan, and others. We understand better than anyone the threats you face. We know that although you know the truth, publicly supporting these young men may cause social discomfort and cancellation. What is the truth? We're still looking for answers. We don't have the truth. That's the issue. What are y'all talking about? Like, what are they talking about? What are they saying? How can they formulate these paragraphs and say, you know the truth? We don't know the truth. That's why everybody is asking questions. The mother literally just said a day ago, they can't even grieve properly because they got to show up in the media, show up doing press conferences to keep this story alive so they can try to find some type of answers for what happened to Nolan. They don't even have the truth. And your kids ain't telling the truth either. So how are you sitting here saying we know the truth when we don't? That doesn't make sense. But we also know that you're tired. You're tired of the lies. You're tired of the hate and division. You're tired of judgment before all of the facts come out. None of the facts have been out, right? How do you think Christine and her husband and their family feels when they still have yet to find out what happened to Nolan? They're tired. They're tired of having to scrape and scramble for any type of answers to what happened to their son. They're tired of being harassed Why aren't y'all raising money to go against the people that are harassing Christine? They went on her Google page and came up with all type of racist ass remarks, defaming her, claiming that she's doing some only for money, trying to profit off of her son's death. They're the ones threatening her and her livelihood. They have yet to find who sent her a bomb threat, who sent her a death threat. Why not make a campaign to go against that? Since y'all all for seeking answers and finding truths, and you have Nolan's back, why not have his family's back in search of answers? No, you're not doing that. While you talking about you're so tired of being bullied, your boy is dead though. We're tired too. Okay. So it goes on to say, you're tired of seeing these dividers get away with it time and time again and feeling too powerless or voiceless to stop it. We're tired of Black bodies dying and it's ruled a suicide, or the case runs cold, or there are never any answers to the questions that we ask, and that we're tired of being silenced when we're seeking justice, when we're seeking questions. This is the name of the game when it comes to Black people in America. We're tired. Imagine living your life. You're tired because you're getting accused of something. We're tired of dying. We're tired of violence. We're tired of being accused. We're tired of being looked at as criminals. We're tired of being accused of things that we did not do before any facts come out, like you just said. We are automatically looked at as guilty before innocent. We are guilty before we are proven innocent. And even if we are proven innocent, we still may be guilty in the eyes of the law. Okay, we rarely get the justice that we need. So the caucasity that's being put out right now by these boys and his family, it's very telling, and it goes right in alignment with the way that this country is set up. Right? Anytime you have any pushback against that system, they're going to try to villainize you. They've already done it with Nolan. Right? He was drunk. He was high. You know how he is, this, that, and the third, with no actual proof. We don't even have a toxicology report. And whatever report that's been going around has been debunked. That shit was fake. And I don't care what's on that piece of paper. What a damn lungs at? What a throat at? We're tired. You're tired? We're tired. We're tired of Black bodies being hung up on trees, and then everybody ruling it a suicide. No thorough investigation. We're tired. It's very disgusting. So it goes on to say, but this is it. This is the moment and the cause that can help make a difference. Not a difference just in these boys' lives, but as a message that we're all tired of the grift. Your donation says that enough is enough. Your donation says that the time of exploiting a tragedy under the guise of justice and leaving a community in ruins after squeezing as much money out of it as possible is over. Oh my God. This is insane. So although we ask humbly for support to stop this onslaught of lies and defamation, we also ask with as much passion as we can muster, because we too are tired. We too are heavy laden. But right is right and wrong is wrong. If you believe in truth, due process, and holding people accountable through the rule of law and not through internet mobs, we ask for your support. I have never, this is like, I'm kind of at a loss for words, because the caucasity is strong, right? To sit here and make a campaign to try to victimize yourself, knowing the history of Black people and violence, and to say that you're more concerned about defamation than stopping injustices as it pertains to Black people, and especially Black men. You are perpetuating racial injustice yourself. You're tired of the grift. We're tired of the perpetuation of racial injustice. And this GiveSendGo is in alignment with that. So I want to get into the comments on this GiveSendGo, right? Because it's very similar to the comments that you can find on that Shiloh Hendricks campaign. This woman did a racist act. He came out and played victim and had a whole bunch of comments talking about, oh, they're being racist towards you. It's freedom of speech and da 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 da. Oh, we got a super chat. Let me go ahead and acknowledge that. Thank you so much for the $2 super chat. Conditioner says, we appreciate you. And I appreciate you as well. Let me give y'all a round of applause, please. And thank you. One more time. Thank y'all for pulling up. Make sure you like the video, please. It's just, oh, Lord. I know, girl. Hold on. Something's acting weird on my screen. Okay, here we go. Lady D, what's going on, girl? She said, black men are the one trying to be a second daddy to these white. Damn, Lady D. I ain't gonna argue with you on that. There are some weird ass black men out here that are working overtime to be accepted by the very people that don't even value them as human beings. But that's another conversation for another day. I understand. Trust me when I tell you I do. But let's get into the comments though. So the Kelly family, now mind you, we're at 98,000. They're going to reach this goal by the end of the night. 100%. Right? So it goes to say the Kelly family, USD $10. We wish we could do more, but are keeping you. And then before I get into the comments, I also want to say, if you were really about that life and finding answers for Nolan, it would have been, we don't want to make this about us. We don't want to make this, we don't want to take away from, finding justice for Nolan. So this also will go to proceeds for Nolan's case. This also will help us find answers for Nolan. Please do not threaten Nolan's family. Please do not harass. No, it wasn't anything like that. You didn't have Nolan's back in this entire dissertation that you did right here. It was all about you and your boys and them not being talked about on the internet. Well, it's too late. But just so you know, this goes to show that you never cared about Nolan. Because even if you did do this GiveSendGo, the fact that you only mentioned Nolan one time, as it pertains to, no one wants to deal with their son dying or their bestie dying, but everything else, you never gave a fuck about Nolan in the first place. So it says, we are so deeply sorry for the loss of your friend Nolan, sending you all prayers for strength during this difficult time. Sorry you guys are having to go through this. Good luck and hope when the truth finally comes out, you guys are vindicated. Stay strong. Anonymous giver, $50, $10, $25. Prayers for you all that you get justice for what these race hustlers have done to you and all of your family. They are playing that reverse racism shit, which isn't really a real thing. It's really not a real thing. But they are really gung-ho on making it seem like these boys are looking suspicious just because they are white. Even though we see patterns when it comes to a group of white people and one black person involved, usually something bad always happens, and it always happens to the black person. I mean, we can't overlook that. But these people really believe that, and I'm just like, who is doing the harassing? Expose them. Expose the text messages. Expose the threats. Because it doesn't really seem like that's really a thing. Y'all just mad because big content creators are on y'all ass and doing more investigative work than the actual investigators in Mississippi right now. They're dragging ass. They're delaying information, being very vague, and only coming out to say, don't rush us. Don't rush us with this investigation. We're going to do it how we want to do it. And we're going to look closely. They got a close eye on anybody going against or has a question against what they're doing, but dragging ass when it comes to this investigation. Okay. Race hustlers. Officer Tatum sent me. Stay strong. You guys are in my prayers. This is so racist. I'm sorry you're having to go through this. It's crazy. Thank you, Rodney, for the $1.99 super chat. I appreciate you. Shit is crazy. Be strong and know that God is with you. Thank you for standing for the truth and standing for your friend's legacy. This is standing for his legacy? Profiting off of his death? Raising $100,000 because other people are trying to find answers that caused his death? Are seeking the truth? And this person says that this is standing for his legacy? Okay. It's getting weird, you guys. It was already weird, but it's getting a lot more weird. So another person says, we all want justice for Nolan, but not at the expense of innocent young men. God bless you all. Stay strong and know that there are millions of people who support you guys. Best wishes from South Carolina. And I'm wondering if any of these people have gone to Christine or on her page or shown any type of love and support the way that they showed on this GiveSendGo. Do you think they did? Has any of his friends done that? No, y'all deactivated accounts. Y'all lawyered up. You can't tell me that there's no reason to find you suspicious or accuse you of anything when you immediately did what a suspect would do if they were actually guilty. The math is not mathing. It's not adding up. You can't get mad when you're moving a certain type of way. Something nefarious happened, clearly. And then you, right after that, moved in a nefarious way. You matched the energy that you gave out. So then it says, listen to this one. This is the moment in history when we say enough is enough. Not enough is enough to racial injustice. Not enough is enough to Black bodies mysteriously dying in the state of Mississippi. Not enough is enough of the lack of investigation for Black bodies that end up dead in Mississippi or in this country. No. We're not getting enough of that, but enough of accusing white folks of doing what white folks do. Okay. This is the moment in history when we say enough is enough. Quit trying to divide us, you race hustlers, grifters, and fraudsters. God bless America. Rest in peace, Nolan, and stay strong, Gulf Coast community. I hope that the support here on this platform gives some comfort to these young men and their families. People care that they lost their friend and are not able to honor and mourn him as they have been forced to focus on defending themselves. No, that's not true. That's not true. They chose to do this. They could have still mourned. They could have still pulled up to that funeral. They could still every single day. It should be, we're looking for Nolan. Who has answers? We're actually doing our best to try to see all those witnesses that claim that they saw Nolan after we left. We trying to talk to them now. We're raising money to pull camera footage and aerial footage to see what's going on. No, y'all ain't doing none of that. This shit is crazy. It's very, very odd to me that, and then it just continuously proves that racism is alive and well, because look at the supporters. It didn't take them no time. It did not take them any time to raise money to support these white boys. But no donations, no nothing for the family, right? I know they did do like a GoFundMe or something, but these people are not the ones that's supporting that, and neither did that boy's family, right? Warren's father and him. Ben Shorty, what you say? That is a better question, Jazz. Did any of the family contribute? That is a good one. But these supporters, nah, their focus should just be on the boys that they think are innocent. Exactly. You think so? I don't think so. What about who? Because Christine and them said we want all of his friends to come to this funeral. Who was gonna beat them up? Hold on. Who's gonna beat them up? Who's gonna beat them? I don't believe it would have been a fight out there. I don't believe so. What were there protesters out there? And I really don't think that I just don't think that would have happened. It wouldn't make sense. You're gonna pull up to protest to find justice for Nolan, and then when you see the friends come, you're gonna try to jump them. That's gonna throw things off. That's gonna deter like the focus, which is Nolan mourning him. I really don't think that would have happened. That's something that they're putting in their mind because they're guilty. We can't show up. They're gonna think because we did do this. No, that's them. They're projecting right now, even their supporters. So it says people care that they lost their friend and are not able to mourn him as they did and forced to focus on defending themselves. And mind you, defending yourself for what? Because nobody accused you of anything. Nobody ever accused you of anything. Nobody ever accused you of anything. So why are you defending yourself? Right? My heart breaks for all involved in this. I pray for healing and peace. Nolan loved his friends as they did him. Lies. But this just goes to show. Comment after comment. Quit trying to divide us, you race hustlers. Hold on. Let me go back down. Stay hoping this nightmare is over soon. You are safe today and always. Praying that the angels of the Lord disperse his angels to have watch over you all. In Jesus' precious name. They always using God. They always using God. And nothing about them is godly. What's going on, Papi Blanco? Thank you for being here. Thank you for being here, my good sir. All their actions are making them look guilty. Exactly. Like, you did this to yourself, bro. Stay strong and safe. You have support out there. My deepest condolences to the loss of your friend Nolan. And may you one day get to have the opportunity to have the ability to grieve and mourn properly. Sending prayers, peace, and love to you and your families from an Officer Tatum watcher in PA. So we already know the type of people that this campaign is drawing from. These are racists. These are people who are anti-Black. And these are people who don't really care to find justice for Nolan at all. They want more justice. They're like, we can't wait till the truth come out so you can be vindicated. So they can take the heat off of you. Now we can't wait to find out the truth so we can find out what really happened to Nolan. We don't really care what happened to Nolan. We just care more so about you not having anything to do with it. But they did. Yeah, I think so. That's my opinion. Let me go ahead and play the banner real quick because these are just my opinions. I don't know these people. I don't give a damn. But I'm here observing. And what I'm observing right now is some bullshit. Disclaimer, disclaimer, disclaimer. Fair use, fair use, fair use. I don't know these mugs, but these mugs don't look innocent to me. Not in this case at all. At all. So y'all, let's get into the first video. Y'all can go and check out this GiveSendGo. It is crazy. They are definitely going to hit that goal, unfortunately. And I wonder, I'm gonna have to see what the update is on the GoFundMe that that the parents of Nolan Wells, Christine, their campaign. I wonder how much money they've raised so far. If they've hit their goal. Because I haven't looked at it. But now you guys, so remember when recently Ben Crump and Nolan's mom and her Nolan's dad were in the car with him, and they were recently having a conversation on Don Lemon's show. And when Don Lemon asked about what's his name? I can't even think right now. When Don Lemon asked him about Officer Tatum, Christine was basically like, I'm not giving that man no play. I'm not platforming him. We won't even discuss it. We won't even be bothered with it. Well, Officer Tatum had something to say about that. He got a little upset at what they had to say. Right? Which also lets you know this guy's a goddamn idiot. But I want y'all to get into what he had to say in response to it. And shout out to Watts TV.
That hate me too.
He did a perfect little clip of the exchange that they had. So let's get into what he had to say. Shout out to Watts TV.
Come out and know who I am.
Then Tatum. She put my full name out there. And in my personal opinion, she want people who hate me to come out and know who I am and search me and do all that other stuff.
If somebody already hates you, that means they know who you are, stupid. Listen to what he just said. He said she wants people that hate me to come out and know who I am and search my name. That didn't even make any sense.
Notice how they're all playing the victim. Now he's a victim. Now Officer Tatum is a victim.
If they hate you, they already know who you are, stupid.
If you want to know what happened to Nolan, did your attorney not talk to me before I ever talked to the other side?
Let me just ask you one simple question, Brandon Tatum.
Who the are you?
So Brandon Tatum recently reacted to a Don Lemon live stream. And during this live stream, Don Lemon actually interviewed Nolan Wells' mother. And during this reaction, Brandon Tatum continues to question and he continues to criticize the mother of Nolan Wells, even though that she is grieving. And I find this very interesting, and I'm going to explain why. But before we get into it, you guys know the drill. Please do me a favor. Do not forget to share, like, and subscribe. It really helps out with the channel, and it lets me know that you're rocking with the content. While you're at it, please do me a favor. Do not forget to join the Discord. Make sure that you guys follow me on Twitch. Make sure that you subscribe to the gaming channel as well. And please do not forget to hype the video. I really do appreciate you guys. I apologize to some of you in advance because I'm not going to lie. This might make your blood boil.
Let me get to Don Lemonhead and Nolan's mother. I'm going to be respectful to his mama. But I do have criticisms. When you watch this video, you're going to see why I have criticism.
I am going to be respectful towards Nolan's mother, but I have criticisms.
Because, sir, why are you criticizing a woman who just lost her child? Why do you have criticisms for how she's responding while she's mourning the death of her son? What is wrong with this man?
Confused. Because really, what the is there to criticize? This is a grieving mother who just wants to know what happened to her child. What is there to criticize? And guys, don't worry. I'm going to point out his hypocrisy a little later in this video. I got you.
Criticisms. Roll the clip.
When you talk about all the things that have been spread, there is this officer, I hate mentioning his name, a former officer who is a far right wing, who's been doing the interviews and has been saying, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm not even going to comment on Brandon Tatum. No.
Time out.
Fair.
Do you guys find that kind of suspicious or interesting that Don Lemon said, I'm not going to mention his name? Fair enough. If you don't want to give a person publicity, if you don't believe they're legitimate, you won't say the person's name. He said, I'm not going to say his name is this officer, right? Then mom gets on and you would think she would say, I'm not talking about that dude. He's irrelevant. He's not worth my time. I'm not talking about this guy you talking about either. Why would she say Brandon Tatum? She put my full name out there.
Did I miss something?
First of all, your name is already out there. You ain't hard to find. What do you mean? Your name is already out there. You're Officer Tatum. You're Brandon Tatum. You know what I'm saying? Like, why are you thinking her saying your name is all of a sudden going to dox you? We know who you are. What?
Does he not go by Brandon Tatum? Does he not go by Officer Brandon Tatum?
Exactly.
Chat, did I miss something? I'm so confused. He said, notice how she put my full name out there. That's a part of your moniker. Officer Brandon Tatum. That's what you want people to call you. What? I'm gonna let him talk. I'm gonna let him finish.
And in my personal opinion, she want people who hate me to come out and know who I am and search me and do all that other stuff, but refuse to address specific things that they're saying that I'm saying.
What the f are you talking about? Let's rewind it back. I'm confused.
Why would she say Brandon Tatum? She put my full name out there. And in my personal opinion, she want people who hate me to come out and know who I am and search me and do all that other stuff.
Guys, I'm not gonna hold you.
She wants people who hate me to come out and do something to me. Like Watts TV said, baby, if they hate you, they already know who you are. He's slow. Maybe this is why he did not last as a police officer. Maybe this is why he was a failed athlete. Maybe this is why you're just a failure, right? Just a bootlicking commentator who never has any facts as it pertains to Black people and social injustices. Obviously, I never trusted a Black man behind a badge, no, because even behind that badge, they bleed blue. So the things that comes out of that man's mouth holds no weight for me. But what he's insinuating is that she purposely put his name out there to try to get somebody to do something bad to him, which is the most ridiculous thing, the most illogical thing that you could ever come up with when your name is already out there in the open like that. You're a public freaking figure, unfortunately.
I already finished recording, but I had to add this in here because if somebody already hates you, that means they know who you are, stupid. Listen to what he just said. He said she wants people that hate me to come out and know who I am and search my name. That didn't even make any sense. If they hate you, they already know who you are, stupid.
But refuse to address specific things that they're saying that I'm saying.
People already know who you are, especially when it comes to this Nolan Wells case. What the are you talking about? Right. You were on Nancy Grace. You've had conversations with Chris Cuomo. You had 3 points.
Because Nancy kept up. Brandon Tatum. Brandon Tatum. I object. Brandon Tatum. She put your name out there all through that segment. Every time you came on her show, she said your first and your last name. But now when Christine says it, all of a sudden there's a weird intention behind why she said it. This guy is dumb.
84 million subscribers on YouTube. Why are you trying to act as if she's trying to like sick people on you? Just because Don Lemon didn't say her name, that doesn't mean she didn't have to say your name. She obviously wanted to address you. So she used your name that you go by. I've heard people introduce you as Officer Tatum, Officer Brandon Tatum, and just simply Brandon Tatum. That was a huge reach. And for some reason, it's quite apparent that he's trying to paint Nolan Wells' parents in a negative light. And I want to remind you guys that all they want to do is find the truth. They want to know what happened to their son. And
they have never addressed some of the things that the boys have said. You have not heard them address the phone thing. You have not addressed them because Warren said that he told Nolan's mother that he had the cell phone and the keys.
Okay, cool. But why did he have the cell phone and the keys?
Wait a minute. Did I get something wrong? Because I thought the phone and the keys were at two different locations. Because the father said he went to go pick up keys from one place, and the mother said that she sent her homegirl to go pick up the phone at another place. Because if the father pulled up to get the keys from Warren's house, and the keys and the phone were already with Warren, why would somebody else need to come back and pick up the phone? Now I'm confused. Now I'm lost. What's going on? That doesn't make any sense to me. That I don't know why that just caught my attention right there, but that doesn't make sense. Now I have more questions.
The story doesn't make any sense, bro. And again, I'm not saying that the boys had anything to do with it. I don't know. I can be objective enough to say I don't know what the happened, unlike you, Brandon Tatum. But I find it weird that he was on an island without his phone. That's weird.
They have not said that he lied about it. They won't even talk about it. It came up on Chris Cuomo, and you guys will see that shortly. It came up on Chris Cuomo, and they pivoted. They didn't even address what Cuomo said. They just pivoted to something else. All right, continue.
I respect that. And that's the right answer for everybody, I believe. And I feel like, because I mentioned him, like, why did I even mention him? Because he doesn't deserve a platform.
No, he does not.
So let's talk about the people, the young men that he's been interviewing. They're saying they're his best friends. Some of them you said that you don't know. One of them even said, oh, Nolan would be outraged by the way his parents are handling this. And I'm like, wait, what? Like, why on earth would somebody go on and say that about a breeding family?
Again, distraction. We're not even going to address them or that man. We only want the truth. Again, at the end of the day, I'm going to say it like I've been saying it. The only question we have is what happened to Nolan.
I'm so confused because why are you looking at her like that? What did she say that was so crazy? All she said was, I'm not giving him any energy. I just want to know the truth about what happened to my son. Why did that elicit this type of reaction? I'm confused.
We need to know. That's it. That's all.
When you talk about all this.
Oh, I'm talking about Mama. I got a question for you. With all due respect, why then, if you want to know what happened to Nolan, did your attorney not talk to me before I ever talk to the other side?
Why the fuck would they talk to you? You don't even know what happened to Nolan. Why would they talk to you about anything? Why would they call Officer fucking Tatum, who is a known race baiter, who is a known anti-black person, always got something negative to say about black people? Why would this black family think they can trust you with any information regarding their son's death? What the fuck would they need to call you for? Who do you think you are? It's so weird.
He just asked that. Hold up. I'm sorry, guys. I got to rewind it back. There's no way he asked that. I'm tripping.
If you want to know what happened to Nolan, did your attorney not talk to me before I ever talk to the other side?
Okay, yeah, that's exactly what I thought he said. Let me just ask you one simple question, Brandon Tatum.
Who the fuck are you?
Talking about, well, why didn't she talk to me? Nigga! Talk to you? Who the fuck? You are a YouTuber. You're not law enforcement. You're not a journalist. You're not an investigator. You're not a detective. You are a YouTuber. YouTube some shit. This is what you do. And what a crazy amount of entitlement. She doesn't have to talk to you because you're irrelevant to this entire situation. You forced yourself into this situation. Saying, well, why didn't she talk to me? Because she doesn't have to. Who the fuck are you? You know what? This makes sense. I can see why he's a trash panda now because he acts exactly like an entitled Karen. It makes total sense.
All right, we passed that point. How come when Nicole or Ashley reached out to you via text, which she showed me, which we posted online, that you didn't respond to Warren's mother to even talk to her and get any information that she may have?
Guess what?
Because that bitch literally advised her kids and everybody else involved to deactivate their accounts, go into hiding, and lawyer up. I wouldn't trust that lady either. Then came out with a crazy inappropriate statement immediately. Literally, the Monday that they said he was missing over the weekend, that Monday, that lady came out with a whole paragraph statement on Facebook defending herself, defending her kids, and tried to say because she went to high school with Christine, Nolan's mom, that, you know, I went to school with her. Why would I and my kids ever have to? That's probably why, because you're not helping the situation. You just made it worse. Now I'm looking at you crazy. And you're asking, why isn't anybody coming to me, coming to these people? These are all people that moved very weird after her son died. Ashley, that judge, her son was the last person to see Nolan alive and went and deactivated his account. So why would she think that this girl, and then to make matters worse, she doubled down and put out her own statement against the family. Every statement that these white boys and these white folks have come out with has never been in support of Nolan or their family. It's all about them and them defending themselves of accusations from random YouTubers who should not matter, especially if you're fucking innocent. Prove us wrong then. Shut us up then. Shut us up. If we're so wrong and it's all lies, you got to raise campaign issue. I ain't gonna give them. They don't know what they're talking about. Defame you for what? What'd you say? You should like Officer Tatum. You know he's saying all that for the sake of you having the type of content people love to hate. I don't know why he's saying it, but he should really just shut up at this point.
She doesn't have to talk to them either, jackass. The only people that she should be talking to actually is law enforcement, because these kids were with her son and every single one of these kids came back alive. And her son, her black son, was the only kid to not come back alive.
Yeah, and on top of that, law enforcement is barely talking to her. Law enforcement is barely giving her transparency. They're lagging on the investigation. Every time she talks, she's like, I called them. I'm calling them. They're not even following up with her in a timely fashion. No. She's like she said, we still have so many unanswered questions. They're not doing anything to investigate this case. That's what it's come to.
So yeah, she doesn't have to talk to them either. You guys heard what she said. The only thing that she is concerned about is finding out the truth. She wants to find out what happened to her son. It's that simple. She don't have to talk to them either. She's not obligated to talk to them. If she wants to do this solely through the authorities and her attorney, then do that.
The boys already have been investigated by law enforcement. We will not know exactly what they said for a time period, which could be a long time. I don't know. They got to go to grand jury and everything. So
and that's bullshit. That's bullshit. That's bullshit. Because any other time we would know what they said. Why is it so secretive? Why is it that their witness statements what they said to the authorities, their accounts of what happened, and that autopsy is all sealed and can't be revealed until it gets to a grand jury, which may or may not reveal anything. Because like I said before, that grand jury is in cahoots. Like, come on now. We already see the play. They're going to look at that case and say, all right, no foul play. Case closed. I would be very surprised if it goes a different way. I would be so shocked if it goes differently. So the fact that they're telling you something, right? Because I don't know if you talk to law enforcement down there or anybody, but just because these boys are claiming we talked to the police, we told them what was said, we told them what we did, that doesn't mean that it's true. Of course they would say that to you.
You would never know what they said to the police unless you talk to them directly. Why, if you want to know what happened to your son, would you talk to the people that last seen him alive? You're saying they saw him alive last. They're reaching out to you and saying, we want to talk. Let's have a conversation. But instead, you guys refuse to talk to them, refuse to talk to me.
I truly find this hilarious. Brandon Tatum is questioning Nolan Wells' mother. He's criticizing Nolan Wells' mother when she didn't do anything wrong. She's doing things by the proper channels, and there's nothing wrong with that. If she doesn't want to have a conversation with these people, she doesn't have to talk to these people, and that's fine. But he's constantly criticizing her, talking about her, and he's trying to actively paint her in a negative light. But I don't know. Don't you guys find it funny that Brandon Tatum didn't have this same energy for Erica Kirk when she lost her husband, Charlie Kirk? One could make the argument that Erica Kirk was exhibiting some extremely weird and off-putting behavior right after her husband died. But he didn't say nothing about that, though. Because let me ask you guys a question. Because who in the...
Oh, my God, facts. Oh, my God, facts. I forgot this was part of his video. He's making the comparison to call out Officer Tatum's hypocrisy because... you know, he was also the person that said he won't cry if his kid died, but that man blubbered tears and cried the ugly cry when Charlie Kirk died. You're criticizing Nolan's mom for how she is supposedly moving, but this bitch, Erica Kirk, though, went and did a whole fiesta, like did a whole party right after her husband was murdered in broad daylight, shot in the neck, allegedly. Shot in the neck. And the things that made her most excited, the things that she talked about after the fact was how much money she raised, how much money they got off of the t-shirts and the hats that they sold at her husband's funeral, how much work all the staff is doing. That's weird, but nothing to say about that though. So this is what lets you know that when it's white people doing the weird shit, he ain't got nothing to say about it. But when it's black folks that are just doing what needs to be done, like Watt said, talking to the proper channels, not anybody that you say that she should be talking to. Now it's all this criticism. Okay.
Talks about merch sales right after their husband's memorial.
Hi, everybody. I still love all these emoji Zoom things. Wow. I don't even know where to begin. The fact that we were able to pull off an event of a century. Like, it's just...
She's referring to her husband's memorial as an...
Called her husband's memorial an event. No critique on that, Mr. Tatum?
Event of the century.
Insane. We had over 275,000 people that attended, and the stadium, overflow, Westgate, insane, you guys. And then you have, was it 100 million? You guys that heard the gospel and all about Charlie and all about everything that you guys do and the hard work of Turning Point USA is insane. We had thousands that were registered to vote. I think we're at like over 200,000 for merch sales. Don't quote me on that because I think it just keeps like bumping up like crazy. But
look, I agree. Everybody grieves differently. And I'm not going to sit here and make the claim that Erica Kirk wasn't grieving. I'm actually not going to say that. But my point is, why didn't he criticize this behavior? Because I'm sorry, that is a little weird. And again,
it is. And he's right. Shout out to Watts TV. We're going to move on to the next video. Make sure y'all go subscribe to him. But I like that he called that out. And I hope some more people call that out as well. Why didn't you criticize these other people who experience tragedies and still doesn't really have any clear answers on the what and the why or whatever? But you have all this criticism for Christine, who is literally just sitting on an island. Oh, that's not a good analogy. Just sitting out on just sitting alone in this, basically not feeling supported by the state of Mississippi. The autopsy is botched. Nobody is really being forthcoming. They've pledged $100,000 between between Al Sharpton and Tyler Perry, a tip line that was routed straight. And that's another thing. Why didn't you criticize that? The tip line that's being routed straight to that judge? You don't find that suspicious, Officer Tatum? You don't find anything, you don't find any of that something to criticize, but you got all this critique for a woman that just said, I ain't got nothing for Officer Tatum. She paid you dust, and now you're trying to pick apart her responses. You're not helping the situation. So why the fuck would that family talk to you? You're not looking for answers for Nolan. You're looking for ways to vindicate them white boys, like the good old boy you are. Like the bootlicking coon ass, butt breaking nigga you are. That's just what it is. Okay. So we're gonna move on. I want to get into another update. So apparently there was a fourth boat involved in the case. Right? There was a fourth boat that apparently pulled up next to the Triton that you may or may not see Nolan on. Like I said, every day we're getting more information and still not getting anything. Every day there's a new update, there's a new development, and we still don't know what happened to this boy. And again, I don't think we will. But let's get into this video by Big Kish. He's been following this young lady that's been online. Mind you, she actually got threatened. This white woman that's been on this case, she said, y'all can sue me because I ain't got no money. You sue me for defamation or what have you, but she's been following this case very thoroughly, very actively, and has been finding different things and pointing stuff out to the point where she definitely got hit with a cease and desist or something like that. But let's get into this video and see what she had to say. It says, Nolan Wells update, never before seen connection.
Record, do whatever you got to do. Y'all get this video. Make sure it is saved. There's this TikToker who goes by the name of J. Megan. And she went in. I'm talking about she do a lot of research. She do a lot of investigating. We still gonna keep everything all alleged, but the video is nowhere to be found. I found the video because somebody else is reacting to it, and I want y'all to get it, save it, because obviously she's on it.
Let me acknowledge some of these super chats. Sorry about that. Thank you, Rodney, for the $1.99 super chat. He said strong arm. Yes, I definitely was in the gym today. And we're going to strong arm this case until we get some guys. God damn it. Thank you, Rodney, for the $4.99 super chat. He's way more aggressive here than he was. Of course. Of course. He's real docile and meek when it comes to these white ladies. But when you want to go back and forth with these black folks, it's you beating your chest. He's a cornball. Goofy. But let's get into it.
Something because it's scrubbed from her page. It ain't on her page. So I'm gonna be quiet and I'm gonna just let it ride out. I believe that she's saying something important. I want y'all to listen to how she mixed Tatum into some big wigs. And she got some important people in here. I'm telling you, I believe she said something that she wasn't supposed to say, and she had to take it off her page. Check it out, y'all.
Before I dive into this video, I want y'all to go follow J. Megan. She's been on this Nolan Wells case since the beginning, and she's very great in finding details, discrepancies, lies. She's very well diverse in connecting the dots. She knows exactly how to do it. She has time for the research. She goes in depth with it. And I want you all to, and I'm gonna shorten the video. So if you really want to go see the entirety of the video,
look what somebody say. They took this off of her page. Oh, really? That's why I said this video is important. It's very important, y'all. I'm telling you, this joint is important.
Go to J. Megan's page and you can find it. But I'm gonna bring something. I'm gonna kind of make it kind of short and watch to the end. And it's gonna surprise you. It's gonna be a bombshell.
It's a bombshell.
And now you will understand
it's a bombshell, y'all.
Tatum is so connected to this case. It's a bombshell. It's a doozy. Watch it.
Now, wait a minute. So Warren already had a boat hooked up when he woke up that morning. I'm assuming that had to be the Triton that was hooked up, right? Then he said that Wyatt went and put his smaller boat, the Palm Beach, into the water. Then Warren said that he was the one who drove the Palm Beach to their friend's dock. Assuming that Wyatt drove the Triton to the dock and Bart drove his own boat to that dock, who drove the Palm Beach out to the water then? Because he said that he got a ride in with Bart, even though at one point during the interview, he said all of his stuff was on the Palm Beach. So it sounds to me like Warren was the one driving the Palm Beach. I'm also like, what parent would let their kid, who's obviously going off to party, take two of their boats and let them let their drunk friends drive? Like, it isn't making sense sense to me. I mean, maybe these parents are just shitty parents and irresponsible. Then he also said that he contacted Bart that morning to see if he could come. And Bart was like, yeah, I can give all your friends a ride, blah, blah, blah. According to him, there were 10-ish people, 15 people on that boat. So where were those people originally supposed to ride in on? They'd been planning it for weeks. They were excited about it. Why did Bart have to suddenly step in and take all these people? And remember, Bart said that his dad had canceled going out on the boat that day, so he could do it. Something's not adding up here. I think there was an adult somewhere in this mix. It would also explain how they all thought quickly on their feet with the sea tow. I wouldn't be surprised if an adult didn't come out there and just go off with other adults that were also on Horn Island and let the kids hang out with the boats. Here's where things are going to get interesting, folks. There are more GPS coordinates in the report than what we have seen publicly. Gonna play you a clip from the interview, but remember, at 5:30 is when they started picking up regular speed, all right? It's right here, 525, speed miles, 30 to 35 knots. So here we go.
Planed off and you have water in the boat and you're hauling, we're going pretty fast. We're going probably 40, 42 miles an hour. And so all that excess water that was built up in the boat is coming out of the boat. So, I mean, that's what we had to do. So we ran into Fort Bayou, and we didn't just run straight to my buddy's grandparents' house. We ran into Fort Bayou. A couple of us jumped in the water, and Wyatt, like the whole reason for the stop was so Wyatt could hop in and put the plug back in the boat. So then after that, we went and docked it, and I went back to my buddy's house.
Hey, Grape Tea. Thank you for being here. Let me give y'all a round of applause. Thank you for being here, Grape Tea. How you been doing, boo? Yes, like Grape Tea News. Please like the video. Like the video, please. Auntie needs you guys. Come on now. Keep us in the algorithm so we can continue to grow. Thank you for being here. I need to mod you up. Rogue in the building. What's going on, lover girl? Fun times yesterday. Fun times. Thank y'all so much. Make sure you like the video. Please. Please. What's going on, y'all? I see y'all coming on in. Okay, I might need to start later on on Mondays. Y'all pulling up around 7 o'clock. Okay, I'll take notes. But let's continue.
House, and we ate and napped for a little bit. It was a long day at Don's.
Now you heard him. He said that they took off going 40 miles an hour, and they didn't go to his buddy's grandparents' house, but they went to Fort Bayou to go do a plug thing. Except right here, 5:44, vessel arrives at El Camino Road. 8 minutes later, then it departs from El Camino Road and headed east into Fort Bayou. So right there, we have a lie. The boat did stop before going into Fort Bayou. 6 minutes later, it comes back to El Camino Road, and the vessel departed El Camino Road half an hour later, headed southwest to St. Martin Bayou, and then turned southeast into Biloxi Bay Bridge. Then they went back to the Bayou boat launch. Then the boat was taken to Cardinal Lane, which was Wyatt's residence. Now, because I am an absolute genius, I was able to find it. This was where they left and where they came back that day, then came back several times. Now, first off, why aren't we seeing footage of them returning that day? We know that Nolan was with them when they left. So why do they have the security cams from that morning, but not that night? Whose grandparents live there? Jax Patalo, whose family owns a pharmacy. It goes back deeper than that because George Patalo Sr., which is Jax's great-grandfather who is deceased, as it turns out, his great-grandfather was appointed and served on the staff of Mississippi Governor Cliff Finch. As you can see, I've confirmed Jax's relation to it. And as it turns out, Cliff Finch, he was in the Mississippi House of Representatives from 1960 to 1964 and supported racial segregation and backed the racist governor, to preserve segregation in the state. The federal grand jury conducted a 3-year-long investigation into his administration and several state agencies, and they were all accused of corruption and mismanagement. But Finch was never...
Hey, we're cooked. We're cooked. We're cooked. We're cooked. It's done. They did it. They covering it up. You got great, you know what I'm saying? They got a long lineage of clan members, if you will, in their family. Okay? This lady just said that, I'm gonna let her say it, okay? Because I got to sped up a little bit.
Found guilty himself.
Listen to what she says about his grandfather. We're cooked.
And several state agencies.
Everybody in Mississippi is cooked.
The federal grand jury conducted a 3-year-long investigation into his administration and several state agencies, and they were all accused of corruption and mismanagement. Finch was never found guilty himself, but some of his aides and appointees were indicted. And those sort of political connections seem to trickle down through the generations, so now we know why the governor got involved. And I started looking into the lawyer that's handling the defamation case from the Bart family. So from 2015 to 2018, he was state director of Americans for Prosperity. Then in 2018 to 2020, he was vice president of Stand Together while being vice president of Americans for Prosperity. Stand Together is a Charles Koch nonprofit, and Americans for Prosperity is a libertarian conservative political advocacy group affiliated with Charles Koch and David Koch. And if you don't know who the Koch brothers are, they're fucking evil. Guess who's one of the major funders for Turning Point USA? Major donors for the Koch brothers also are primary financial pillars for Turning Point USA, specifically their campus operations. And guess who used to serve as the director of urban engagement?
Did she cook or what? Now, I know she was talking really, really fast, but I want you to listen and pause it. Listen and pause it. Screen record it. She just dropped that. I seen another YouTube content creator who goes by the name of Tisa Tells. She reacted to it, and I seen it. I went back to her page, and it was scrubbed off. She is ruffling feathers. She even got a breakdown of the whole timeline.
She just connected all the dots. That woman just connected not only the dots with that boat, but the owners of that boat and their families' lineage that all point to people who have done nefarious acts in Mississippi since its inception. I want to go back just a little bit more. I want her to repeat this one part. You go right here.
An absolute genius. I was able to find it. This was where they left and where they came back that day, then came back several times. Now, first off, why aren't we seeing footage of them returning that day? We know that Nolan was with them when they left. So why do they have the security cams from that morning, but not that night? Whose grandparents live there? Jax Patalo, whose family owns a pharmacy. It goes back deeper than that because George Patalo Sr., which is Jax's great-grandfather who is deceased, as it turns out, his great-grandfather was appointed and served on the staff of Mississippi Governor Cliff Finch. As you can see, I've confirmed Jax's relation to it. And as it turns out, Cliff Finch, well, he was in the Mississippi House of Representatives from 1960 to 1964 and supported racial segregation and backed the...
That's what I wanted to hear. So your great-granddaddy supported racial segregation in Mississippi. And we're wondering why this case is going the way that it is. Okay. I'm gonna just let it play one more time, y'all, because that was excellent work. And I gotta play it again for my own sake too.
Racist governor, to preserve segregation in the state. The federal grand jury conducted a 3-year-long investigation into his administration and several state agencies, and they were all accused of corruption and mismanagement. Finch was never found guilty himself, but some of his aides and appointees...
All accused of corruption and mismanagement. That autopsy report is corrupted. This investigation is being mismanaged. Checks out.
These were indicted. And those sort of political connections seem to trickle down through the generations. So now we know why the governor got involved. And I started looking into the lawyer that's handling the defamation case from the Bart family. So from 2015 to 2018, he was state director of Americans for Prosperity. Then in 2018 to 2020, he was vice president of Stand Together while being vice president of Americans for Prosperity. Stand Together is a Charles Koch nonprofit. And Americans for Prosperity is a libertarian conservative political advocacy group affiliated with Charles Koch and David Koch. And if you don't know who the Koch brothers are, they're fucking evil. Guess who's one of the major funders for Turning Point USA? Major donors for the Koch brothers also are primary financial pillars for Turning Point USA, specifically their campus operations. And guess who used to serve as the director of urban engagement?
Did she cook?
She cooked. Shout out to her. Make sure y'all go follow that lady. I got to remember to be putting people's names in the description, so I'll do that later. But shout out to Big Kish. Thank you so much, Big Kish, for covering that. Oh, I did not mean to keep it on your face like that. But let's get into the next video, y'all. I want to play the video as it pertains to the new and latest developments about the GPS tracking, right?
Celebrity news. Hey, yo, thanks for tuning into The Source. Your source for celebrity.
This one was very interesting to me, right? Because we already thought we had all the information on the coordinates. We know that they didn't just go out and come back. They made several stops. And how you making several stops with a sinking boat that is taking in 30 feet of water, I don't know. But it also, like I said in the last one, stream, or one of the last streams that we did, the fact that Warren never mentioned them calling for the CETO and only spoke to Bart pulling up and pulling out, from what I can remember. I don't recall him saying like we called for the CETO and then we canceled it. He never said that. He only specifically spoke to, and I haven't heard them talk about that CETO call at all. The only thing that I've heard is, oh, it's been doctored up. It's been, it's like, why would somebody go out their way to go into audio that's a real audio and try to doctor it up and alter it to make it look like that those boys did something that they did not? Why would someone do that? Someone randomly is just going to go out their way to try to point the picture at these boys that are on the boat. That would be a very weird thing to do, especially when you don't have irrefutable evidence regarding that audio call. That would take a lot of fucking work to try to make up words and sounds. Those voices sound like the voices of the boys that were involved, right? Warren and Bart and White and all that. Those voices kind of matched up. So the only thing that I've heard them say about that call was that, oh, it's been altered. They're not speaking much on that, and I find that to be very interesting. But let's get into this video and see what the source, because I think she's from like Jersey or something. She be talking like this, and I like it. Let's see what the source had to say. It says things go from bad to worse for Nolan Wells' friends after GPS tracking got released. Watch till end.
News. Do me a favor and hit that like button, and if you're not already subscribed to the channel, why don't you go ahead and do that too? All right, y'all, check this out. As you already know, about 2 weeks ago, 15 pages of the MDMR report in the Nolan Wells case was accidentally leaked, and I'm sure by now the person who leaked it was fired because they did not intend for the public to get their hands on this information. Anyhow, for everybody who doesn't know, the MDMR report is the Mississippi Department of Marine Development's master file. I mean, anything that goes down, they're putting it in that file. Okay, so what does the MDMR reveal? It reveals that the police over there in Jackson County really weren't moving with any sense of urgency. They didn't feel a need to go check the boys' boats on the 5th, the 6th, the 7th, and as a matter of fact, they don't show up to the boys' houses asking for GPS information until July 8th. On July 8, 2026, at approximately 6.
The investigation didn't even start until 4 or 5 days later. Similar to his body being sent for the private autopsy. They didn't send that boy's body until, I think Ben Crump said 10 days later. So there's a pattern here. They're dragging ass, but we know this.
1609 hours. MDMR officer Shay M. Smith met with Bart. Edmiston provided Smith with a driver's license and boat registration card. Edmiston also signed a permission search form and escorted Smith down the pier. Vessel MI-1295CB was in a boat lift on the north side of the residence. The vessel contained a Garmin GPS map chart plotter that was wired for sonar, waypoint, and chart sharing / syncing. Smith inserted a 32 gigabyte card into the unit and followed the prompts to copy the...
I'm going to slow it down a little bit because I want y'all to really hear what she's saying. And I feel like the speed is too fast.
Data to a memory card. A single ADM file was downloaded and labeled as MI1295CB.ADM. So, after Officer Shay Smith met with Bart, the officer ran over to Wyatt's house and met with Wyatt's grandfather, yes, Jerry Atkinson, the same grandpa from the Ceto phone call. And it says, on July 8, 2026, at approximately 17:10 hours, which is 5:10 p.m., MDMR officer Shay M. Smith met with Jerry Atkinson. Atkinson provided Smith with a driver's license and vessel registration. Atkinson signed a permission to search form. Vessel MI14088BU was in the driveway of the residence. The vessel contained a Garmin GPS map chart plotter. Smith inserted a 32 GB card into the unit and followed the prompts to copy data to a memory card. A single ADM file was downloaded and labeled as MI14088BU.ADM. Okay, so this is important to know going forward. As you heard, Wyatt's boat GPS contained tracks, routes, and waypoints. A track is a recorded movement. A route is a planned navigation, and a waypoint is a saved location. Now, the reason why people are like, yo, where's Bart's GPS? His GPS is there, but his is different because his boat is only picking up waypoints, which means saved locations. The very next day, it says that Officer Shay took both files, right? Wyatt's file and Bart's file, and combined them into one. And then she took that file and she uploaded it into Google Earth and made a timeline of Wyatt's boat. It says that on July 10th, 2026, at approximately 0930 hours, MDMR officer Shay M. Smith used Garmin HomePort to convert the ADM file into a GPX file. A vessel MI4088BU displayed over satellite imagery. The following timeline was established, which brings us to the PowerPoint that Officer Shay made and CBS shared with the public.
What are we learning about those new details in this case? What can you tell us?
Well, we actually have obtained new movement records, GPS data. Our Jared Eggleston and Skylar Henry down in Mississippi obtained this from a Mississippi entity, and it actually shows exactly where the boat left from when it arrived at Horn Island. You're seeing, as that scrolls down on your screen there, you're seeing that July 4th, that tracking movement, the vessel reaching Horn Island around 11:14 a.m., and then we also see when the boat left. Now, as we've been reporting, Nolan Wells was not on that boat, although his keys and phone were. And so we see the boat then go and actually...
And we don't know that. We don't know that if he wasn't on the boat. Just because we didn't see him photographed on the boat, on whatever photos they're trying to say this was the boat as they were leaving or when they got the Ceto, don't mean that boy went on there. Don't mean he wasn't on there. He could have been laying down somewhere hurt. I don't know.
Dock at a different location, then drive overland to the home of the owners of the boat.
So as you just heard, CBS reported the boat goes to Horn Island and then it comes back to a different dock and then it goes back to the owner's house. After CBS reported that story, and they said that the boat went to Horn Island and then came back to a different dock, a viral picture based on their information started circulating on the internet. Now, I want you to notice that in this picture, the boat travels to Horn Island, but then it comes back to a different location, which is supposedly a different dock. Then later on, it goes somewhere and then it comes back to that dock and then eventually goes to the Fort Bayou boat launch.
So this is what this is telling me. They were panicking. They were panicking. That's it. Let's forget about the boat was sinking. That was an alibi. That was bullshit. Ain't no way your boat's sinking and you call off the Coast Guard. You don't, and then your granddaddy say, actually, we don't need the sea tow anymore. 30 feet of water, bilge pump broken, sinking, but you done made all these stops, and these stops were to the owners of the boats, and y'all came in and came back out and came in. Okay, yeah, they were panicking. They were trying to figure out what to do, which lets me know or makes me believe that Nolan was not off of that boat yet. It didn't give he's off the boat. It was he's here, something happened. We got to go to the big dogs now. We got to go to our parents. We got to go to granddaddy now. We got to go to the people that we know could have our back by way of the justice system, policing, judges, etc. People that are all connected that can help us do something about this. Do something about this accident, because I think a tragic accident happened, and they're covering it up, unfortunately.
Law and Crime also reported the story, but they just skipped from 6:06 to 7:19 altogether.
Let me go to this part. So CBS News obtained GPS data from the Mississippi Department of Marine Resources, and it tracks the boat's movement. So I want to walk through that timeline. This is information they say they obtained via records request. And so it appears to suggest that this boat, this vessel, left the dock at approximately 9:56 that morning, arrived at Horn Island at 11:14. According to GPS data, the boat then reportedly left Horn Island at 4:31 that afternoon, returned to its original departure dock, then traveled into Fort Bayou at around 5:52 before returning to the dock at 6:06. Later that evening, the boat went into the Fort Bayou boat launch at 7:19, traveled overland, which would suggest that it was possibly towed by a vehicle.
Likewise, if you look at this photo, this organization also chose to bring that boat in at a different dock. It leaves at one dock and then comes back in at a different dock. As you can see, depending on who's telling the story, what happened to Wyatt's boat when it came back from Horn Island changes depending on who's telling the story. So let's see if we can figure out what actually happened. Using the original MDMR GPS data, I have plotted where that boat actually went. Now, as I'm walking you through this GPS data, I want you to be very critical and check my work, okay? If you see any line that's out of place or wrong, let me know. But I'm going to read the MDMR, and as I'm reading it, I want you to look at the map and see where this boat actually went. But before we get started, let me make a disclaimer. Instead of saying the street address, I'm going to say Ike's house for the starting point, because I don't want to dox anybody. And because Officer Tatum did his videos and interviews with the boys, we know for sure that the boat actually did leave from behind Ike's house. So let's get started. And please note that the image that I'm getting ready to show you is simply a rough representation of what I'm reading. It should not be taken, like this is the Holy Grail, this is the MDMR graph, this is what happened. This is simply something that I drew up real quick to show you what I am saying so that you can follow along. On July 4th, 2026 at 9:56 a.m., the vessel departs from Ike's house for Horn Island. That's represented by the blue line. Then it says at 11:14, the vessel arrives at the western tip of Horn Island. And between the hours of 11:15 and 4:30, GPS dropping points are consistent with a stationary position and the GPS is on. This represents the time that they were on the beach and in the water and the boat did not move anywhere. The next time that the GPS picks up any movement is at 4:31 when the boys say that they left the island. And then between 4:31 and 5:24, the vessel departs western tip Horn Island northbound speed between 0.06 and 4.2 knots for approximately 2.75 miles. At 17:25 or 5:25, the vessel regains normal operating speed of 30 to 35 knots. Then at 17:44, which is 5:44, the vessel arrives back at Ike's house. Okay, so now we're off of the yellow line and now we're moving on to the purple line. At 17:52 or 5:52, the vessel departs Ike's house and headed east into Fort Bayou. At 18:06 or 6:06, the boat returns to Ike's house. And now we're moving over to the green line. At 18:36 or 6:36, the vessel departs Ike's house, heads southwest to St. Martin Bayou, turns southeast to Biloxi Bay Bridge, then back north towards Fort Bayou boat launch. At 19:19 or 7:19, vessel arrives at Fort Bayou boat launch, which brings us to the yellow line. At 19:47 or 7:47, the vessel was trailered to Wyatt's house. And then the last data point on record for July 4th, 2026 was at 19:59 or 7:59 p.m. Now, the next morning, July 5th, the boat is powered on several times. First at 9:32, then again at 9:51, and at this time, there's a question mark because they believe that the boat was moved 52 feet. Then again at 9:53 a.m. and then again at 10:27 a.m. Officer Strickland does not arrive at the property until 4:50 p.m. and then he takes a picture of the GPS coordinates. 2 days later, on July 7th, the boat is powered on again at 6:10 p.m. And then the next day July 8th at 5:13 p.m., Officer Smith shows up at White's house, gets a permission to search, and actually downloads the files. Listen, if you ask me, way too much time passed between the incident happening and the cops going to the house to get those files. And we also need to know what in the world was happening with that little loop-de-loop around Fort Bayou.
Exactly. What the hell is this? And why, are they presenting this to the grand jury? Why haven't the investigators or the DA spoken to these random ass coordinates that aren't in alignment with the story that has been put out? That loop-de-loop was because they were in panic mode, going from this house to this dock to this dock to try to corroborate their story, to try to, I don't know, maybe get rid of a body. I don't know. Allegedly, who knows? I don't know anything. I'm just saying the boat was sinking. Then she said that at one point in the evening on that same day, of the day that the boat was allegedly sinking, that it ramped up to its regular speed. They're lying, bro. This is really exhausting me.
Now, I don't like the way that the news is reporting this, because when they say that they left from one dock and then it came back to another dock, it don't.
Thank you so much, Rod Neal. He says, with the $4.99 super chat, he says, question, if the boat was taken on water before they left the island, why would they leave the island? Why not call Cito beforehand? Exactly. Because the Cito called, because remember, they called it off. They said that we don't need it anymore. You know what I mean? We don't need it anymore because they never needed it in the first place. So that's why that alibi is crumbling, because it doesn't make sense based off what they said. You're sinking. You can't really go anywhere if you're sinking. You're sinking. But you made all these trips though. And what are we going to say now? Bart was the one who got you all out of that and drove you from this dock to this dock to that dock? Because Warren is saying that Bart is the only one that pulled them out or fixed them up. So good question, Rod.
Almost makes you forget that they made several trips to Ike's house. Now, I'm not going to make any assumptions as to why they made those trips, because I'm just here to give you information and you can draw your own conclusions from that. But I will say this, I'm getting very frustrated and suspicious of the fact that the traditional media keeps censoring information about this case and deciding what parts to tell you and what parts not to tell you, especially about that extra trip to Ike's house.
Anna Schechter leads our Crime and Public Safety Unit. She's been following this case for us. Anna, good morning. I help our viewers understand what this GPS data might show and how it's relevant to the timeline as far as the family is concerned.
Well, Errol, this is important because now we know the exact movement pattern of that boat that took Nolan Wells to the island, exactly what time, around 11:15 a.m. the boat landed on the island. And then we know that after 5 p.m., that boat, without Nolan Wells on it, traveled a different route and docked in another place, different, actually quite a ways away from where it entered the water that morning.
What did you just say? CBS, are you serious right now? Why are you lying to the people with a straight face, spreading fake news about the Nolan Wells case?
And then we know the route that those young men who were on the boat that took him, that path that took them to the home of the boat's owner. All of this is being scrutinized by law enforcement. So this is a key part of it, because the big question is, what happened to Nolan Wells, and did anyone see him enter the water? That question remains unanswered.
Listen, I understand that
why they doing all these GoFundMes and GiveSendGos, and we need to raise money to protect from cyberbullying. Why can't we raise some money to figure that part out? Why can't we figure out some money to figure out how we can get some type of view on who saw Nolan last after he didn't get on the boat, allegedly, and he didn't go with Katie? I'm sure as much work as y'all doing for everything else, y'all can put in some work to find that out. But that's not the focus here. That's not the focus here.
traditional media is pressed for time. You know, they're trying to crunch in as much as possible. But how do you cut out all the trips in the middle of the story? That is crazy, and it's sad because that leads to confusion. For example, this woman right here believes CBS.
Okay, so the GPS says that they took a different route home and docked at a completely different dock, which makes total sense because they were towed in. They called for towing. You heard it on the two clips I played in my video. The one of them calling for help, saying, please come help us. And then the lady saying, is everybody already on board? Yes, everybody, but we're sinking. So they were towed in. So I don't know, unless there's something I'm not hearing.
Yeah, you're not hearing, girl, because the granddaddy called off the tow. They never got towed into anywhere. No. They moved around quite a bit and called off that damn tow.
I just looked that up because you said that. But if you have any other information, let me know. I want to get to the truth. I'm not blaming anybody.
And you know what? It's not even her fault because this woman right here trusts her news sources. I mean, for real. Even Don Lemon trusts what CBS is saying.
But last night, for the first time, something, I believe changed. I'm not sure. I think it may be helpful because it gives a timeline. When I said nothing on a stopwatch, this gives a timeline. CBS News obtained actual GPS data from the Mississippi Department of Marine Resources. That data tracks the exact movements of boats, and it tracked the exact movements of the boat that carried Nolan Wells to Horn Island on July 4th. And this isn't a memory. This isn't a witness account. This is a machine, electrical recording, technological recording of location and time. And there's no opinion about any of this. So this is what it shows. That the boat left the dock at 9:56 in the morning. It arrived at Horn Island at 11:14. Normal trip out, nothing unusual. And then at 4:31 in the afternoon, the boat left Horn Island, headed back toward the mainland. Nolan was not on that boat. CBS has confirmed that separately, and the GPS data does nothing to dispute it.
And this is really the reason why you got to support these independent news channels, because these other news channels won't tell you the full story, which is why a lot of people are trying to figure out what happened between 6:06 and 7:19.
The boat data came in from Nolan Wells. Okay, you did a whole lot of damn traveling for that boat to be damn messed up.
Right.
Look, at 9:56 a.m., that boat leaves to go to Horn Island. Okay, green, it's fine, ain't nothing wrong with that. Look, the boat arrives at 11:14 at Horn Island. Fine, that adds up to me, right? Then you leave at 4:31 p.m. All right, so you had a good little time, but I don't know if Nolan Wells was on that boat or not. Something tells me that he was on that damn boat. Look, this is where it gets real fuzzy. From 4:31 to 5:52, they done took a damn U-turn. They went somewhere and they went to Fort Bayou. Okay, well, I thought the damn boat was messed up. You were supposed to go from Horn Island back to the dock. Y'all took your ass to Fort Bayou. Why? What was there? The boat was messed up. Why would you go there? Look, then you leave Fort Bayou and you return to the original spot at 6:06 p.m. So from 4:31 to 6:06 p.m., there's fuzziness in here. That's about an hour and a half. If I'm not mistaken, about an hour and a half. Something happened to Nolan Wells in between this time right here. For them leaving that damn...
Exactly. I want to acknowledge this comment real quick. Big Sean, Lemon Boy switching sides. Tell me why you say that. Tell me why you say that, because when I was watching Don Lemon earlier, I was kind of in and out, but I noticed his chat was also saying that. Like, somebody said in his chat, like, your tone is switching. Like, you're sounding different. It's not giving the same energy. What is he saying? I got to go back and watch. I got to go back and watch Don Lemon. But why would you say that, Big Sean? I'm very curious. Write it in the chat for me. Don Lemon was a bit more cautious in his delivery today. Yeah, I saw that. I was like, what's going on? Come on now, Don. He was on it. You know what I mean? Like, he was on it. Like, he was legitimately asking the right questions, not making any accusations, but definitely asking the right questions in order. Whoa. Oh, sorry. I got distracted by something. Wow. That's crazy. Yeah, I saw that and I'm just like, well, what is it? It's almost like he got a phone call. That's crazy. I'm gonna have to go back and watch that. If he got like, and I thought Don Lemon, I thought he was like separated from like mass media. Didn't he? Wasn't there a thing with him where they kind of like shunned him and so he started doing his own thing? Which is why I thought that he was able to speak freely, which is why I was kind of drawn to him in this case specifically, because he was thinking and asking a lot of the same questions that I was thinking. So I'm like, okay, this makes sense. Okay, he's actually on the case and not being biased and not being, like media trained. So he didn't switch up. Getting ugly.
Horn Island, so returning back to that, something happened at Fort Bayou. Yes, it did. Yes, it did. Look, and then, after 6:06 p.m., you carry your ass back to Fort Bayou. Probably to check the scene now, make sure everything's clear. For whatever y'all damn did. So then, after 7:19, look, the boat was transported by car to Biloxi, Mississippi. No, y'all got some explaining to do.
All right, so let me say this really quick because people have very strong opinions about this case, but the young boys are innocent until proven guilty. And furthermore, as of today's date, no criminal charges have been levied against anybody. And I already know a lot of you are wondering what's in Fort Bayou. So let me answer it. The answer is a lot of murky water.
M-I, crooked letter I, crooked letter I, humpback I, M-I, crooked letter I, crooked letter I, humpback I, M-I, crooked letter I, crooked letter I, humpback.
What? Everything is fake? Don't make me mad. Please don't tell me that's what's going on. Oh my God. I gotta watch it. Cause no, Donnie. Damn. Now this is a video of murky waters in Fort Bayou, huh? I wonder how close Nolan's body was to this.
Crooked letter I, crooked letter I, humpback I, crooked letter I, humpback I, crooked letter I, humpback I.
Anyhow, hopefully I was able to help some of you understand the GPS data a little better. And let me know, what do y'all think about all of these extra trips to Ike's house? Also, let me know what you think about everything that we discussed in today's video. And while you're down there leaving a comment, be sure to like and subscribe to the channel and share this video with your friends. Hey, yo.
Shout out to the source. That was a lot of information. And that lets us know that, again, we're doing more investigative work than they're actually doing. And again, I do not think that we're going to get the justice that Nolan deserves, or Nolan and his family isn't, because there's too many unanswered questions. And now with these new GPS coordinates and them hopping around, going to different docks, different boats are pulling up, and there's still no understanding of how that boat was able to move around like that if it was taking on so much water and sinking. It is what it is, y'all. It is what it is. Make sure you like the video, please. Make sure you like the video, please. Oh, okay. Thank you, babe. Okay, so Don Lemon got fired from CNN. So I thought that because of him being fired, that he can just speak freely. You know, that's what they do. They get fired from these platforms, and then they go and, you know, speak their truth. They don't hold anything back. So somebody is in Don Lemon's ear, it sounds like. That's what it sounds like. That's y'all are telling me. Somebody is in his ear. He done got scared, right? He done got scared. And now he's backtracking and making it seem like everybody lying and we're just missing, you know, it's all conspiracies that we're going off of. That's what y'all telling me? Fucking crazy. It's very, very crazy. So I want to play another video real quick as it pertains to Katie, the homegirl that is supposedly last seen with Nolan. Now, from what we know, Katie has come out to say, no, I did see Nolan that day, right? I did see Nolan that day. I saw Nolan that day, but I heard y'all tell him to get on the boat, and that was the last time I saw him. And again, what happened in between that moment? Like, what happened in between that time where you saw them asking for him to get on the boat, but then he didn't get on with you? So then what's left? Where did he go after that? That's the part of the information that's needed, because what happened after that? That doesn't make any sense. So now they're saying that her story is kind of falling through. It ain't adding up. At this point, they all in cahoots. I want to play one video from Tisa Talks first, because, like I said, she's been on. I think somebody said something about her in the chat. But let's see here. I want to play this first and then jump into another one to get a little bit more information. So shout out to Tisa Tells, and let's see what she had to say. It says, Katie's whole story called into question after, Katie's whole story called into question after disturbing new evidence surfaces. Nolan's family can't.
Bart's boat, and Wyatt was on the phone with Cito. Now, listen, I know it sounds crazy. I know you like to see what are you talking about, but you know I always bring the receipts. Let's get into them. But before we do, I have to say this. You guys, this is opinion, speculation. Everybody wants to find out what happened to Nolan. Katie, the family, everybody does. Please do not send questions, comments, hate, vitriol, worse yet, any threats of violence, anything that you would not send your own mother. Please, it's not going to help the case. It's not, and it actually might wind up with you getting arrested. If you want to do something to help, give Nolan's mama some money in the GoFundMe. Give Ben Crump some information. Send whatever. Everything I show, the Ben Crump law firm has been sent. Send them your clues. Send them your things. That's where you're going to get help. Again, we want everybody healthy, well-centered, alive, and in good spirits so they too can witness the grand day when we actually find out what happened to Nolan. All right? Now that I've gotten the disclaimer done, and this goes for all the videos, let's get into Katie, or what people are calling the problem with Katie. Was she actually on Bart's boat? And does she know more than what she's saying? All right, let's get into this. Hold on. All right, here we go. You guys, let me introduce you to the nerdy Pink Panther. She is one of the best when it comes to details researchers out there. And she believes that Katie has dry snitch. But what's more, there's evidence to back up what she believes. I want you to watch it. And then we're going to have the discussion where I actually show you what Nolan's family is saying about this. And let's just go. It has me scratching my head. Let's go. My third time making this video because they keep taking it down because they don't want you to see what I have found. Katie has dry snitched, y'all. Here we see Katie's Snapchat where she's wearing a teal swimsuit and she's with a girl in a blue and white striped swimsuit. On this video, this is very important. So Katie's wearing the teal and she's with a girl in blue and white. Please keep that in mind. Let's keep going. Video of the three boats. You're going to see a girl in a blue and white striped swimsuit right here on Bart's boat. And right next to her with the same long wet hair is a girl in a teal swimsuit on Bart's boat. Make sure you have your brightness turned all the way up because here we have Katie in a teal swimsuit and look at her head. She is wearing a white hat. What is she showing is allegedly photos from Katie's Snapchat that shows Katie on a boat. And it was presented without commentary. So the pictures have not been verified, but Katie's people have not come out and said that's not her. Many people believe this is from her official Snapchat. Oh, look, the video of the boat getting towed. Teal swimsuit, white hat. And that's not all, folks. Again, turn your brightness all the way up because right here, we've got somebody wearing red trunks. Oh, and look what we have here. Red trunks. And here's those same red trunks on the shore right after the fight with Tristan. Katie is claiming that she allegedly caught a ride home with somebody named Marty McGrath. It just so happens that a Marty McGrath is the co-owner of the Biloxi Bay RV Resort and Marina in St. Martin. Here it is, and my, that is a massive dock way out in the water. And would you look at that? It's right next to the grandparents' house. Now, in that report with the GPS coordinates, didn't they say that they went southwest towards St. Martin Bayou? Yeah, that's right, it did. And it also took them 45 minutes to get to that boat ramp over there. That only takes about 6 minutes on land. Like I said, they are trying to take down my page. Make sure you are following my backup here. But Katie, I want to say one thing to you. You're young, and I know you don't realize this yet, but these are not your friends. Be a hero. Do what's right. Okay, let me rewind that really quick because I think there was so much that was missed. I want to play it for you guys one more time, okay? Because this is actually very, very shocking. And I want to go through the receipts, and I'm going to zoom it in so you guys can see a lot clearer. But yeah, look at this. This is now my third time making this video because they keep taking it down because they don't want you to see what I have found. Katie has dry snitched, y'all. Here we see Katie's.
Okay, so now we're talking about Katie. Now Katie's on the boat. She's talking about the swimsuits, talking about where Katie actually was during this whole entire situation, because this would kind of make it seem like, was Katie on that boat during the alleged Cito call? Because then that would mean that she lied about her being separate or separating from Nolan and his friends. If it's all checking out like this, Katie lying too. Everybody lying.
Snapchat where she's wearing a teal swimsuit and she's with a girl in a blue and white striped swimsuit. On this video of the three boats, you're going to see a girl in a blue and white striped swimsuit right here on Bart's boat. And right next to her with the same long wet hair is a girl in a teal swimsuit on Bart's boat. Make sure you have your brightness turned all the way up because here we have Katie in a teal swimsuit and look at her head. She is wearing a white hat. Oh, look, the video of the boat getting towed. Teal swimsuit, white hat. And that's not all, folks. Again, turn your brightness all the way up because right here, we've got somebody wearing red trunks. Oh, and look what we have here. Red trunks. And let's get into Nolan's family. Why has everybody largely believed everything Katie's saying? And I'm not saying Katie is lying. I'm not saying she's not. I am saying that let me put this up on the
screen. I was believing her too. I was like, Katie said she don't know y'all. Katie said she did see, she only saw you for a minute and that was it. I was believing her ass too. But you know, you can't be believing these white bitches. But let's go.
Green. I am saying that in the police report, the boys kept saying that he was with an unidentified woman, even though they all knew Katie.
Wait a minute. Who's Gabriel? Be Sneezy. Who's that? Who's Gabrielle? Is that another content creator or somebody involved in this case? Let me know. Put me on to Gabrielle. Shit, what she know? Or he?
They called her an unidentified woman. As a matter of fact, I have been very, very critical that Warren and the other people, friends that the police spoke to the night when they were about to start searching for him, somehow whatever they said to the police led the police to believe that Nolan was not in fact missing. And Nolan was probably drunk or asleep at someone's house, and he was chilling with the unidentified girl, who Warren later identified as being Katie. Had Warren and all the other people stayed out of it, and by stayed out of it, not told the police whatever they said, they would have started searching for Nolan that night. Now, I would just imagine that if it was an accidental drowning, which I do not believe it was, but if it was, that time could have been critical to actually saving him. The next morning, Warren didn't care. He didn't call the mom back as far as I know, and he didn't seem too perplexed. Like he said, he thought everybody was overreacting. And even though they all knew Katie at that time, and this is in the official report, right? Even though they all knew Katie, they gave somebody's name named Laney. The police, the MDMR investigator, I think it was Officer Strickland, went out and knocked on Laney's door. And that's when Laney said, I haven't seen Nolan in a year. I know him, but I've not seen or talked to him in a year. And what's more, I was on a different island, Petite Boys. I never went to Horn Island that day. That was very odd and very weird. It almost makes me think, were you leading the police on a wild goose chase? But here's where things get complicated. Because why has everybody largely overlooked Katie's role in this? Well, because, right, the mystery woman Nolan Wells' friend Sissy was chatting to when they left Island was identified. Katie's sister actually came out and shared a conflicting story. But here's the part that why everybody looked it over, all right? She came out and said, I thought the last time I saw him was when they were all yelling on the boat, Warren, get the F on the boat. Nolan, get the F on the boat. Nolan, get the F on the boat. Now, to be fair, when you look at Nerdy Pink Panther, you see somebody who is white with blonde hair wearing a white cap and a teal suit. Maybe there were other girls, maybe teal. I mean, teal is a very popular color this year, and it's in all the Target bathing suits. I'm not saying Katie has a Target bathing suit on, but you know what I'm saying? If something's in Target, it's everywhere, right? And no, I have not been shopping at Target. I'm just saying, right? The whole thing is that
she's a little hyper, a little ADHD too, but that's okay. I'm the same way. So I fuck with these tails.
Getting back to my point, there could be other girls who had blonde hair with white caps and a teal swimsuit. Now, the odds that they will be standing next to another girl that had on a striped navy suit, now it gets like whatever. But again, getting back into why Katie's words have not been questioned, or again, I don't know what's in Nolan's mom's thing, but I do know that part of Nolan's family actually went on record to the Daily Mail along with Katie's sister. These are quotes saying that they love Katie. Here's what they said. It was Jackson County Sheriff's Deputy Keandra McKinney. Here she is right here. Keandra McKinney. She said she's one of Nolan's relatives. I don't know if it's on the mama.
So now we got a black cousin. Now we got a black cousin that has come out claiming to be a family member or a relative to the Nolan Wells family, speaking for Katie. I have yet to hear Christine, Nolan Wells' mom, his family, Ben Crump, anybody claim this lady. But apparently they didn't put a black face out here claiming to be their relative, talking about how much they love Katie, which makes sense as to why the heat got off of her very quickly because of these random statements. But I have not heard the parents corroborate the story.
Side or the dad's side, but they are very close, and she was speaking for the family. She said, one of Nolan's relatives, Keandra McKinney, posted in support of Katie after she received a torrent of abuse claiming she played a role in Nolan's death. She said, we all know and love Katie, Nobody, as far as my family, is blaming Katie. We all love her and her whole family. Katie has spent many events with our whole family in Three Rivers countless times. My family has no vendetta out against her whatsoever. We love her. I think we're just trying to understand what happened. She said that, okay, so there you go. So largely, nobody has really looked into Katie and the timeline. We just know that Katie, much like Bart, said things that directly contradicted things Warren said. And the fact that Warren cannot be telling the truth, Katie cannot be telling the truth, and Bart cannot be telling the truth, all in the same universe. Because there are certain parts, again, I'm not saying any of them are lying. I'm just saying someone's story is wrong. Someone's lying.
Everybody's story is wrong. Everybody's lying. That's why we still don't have any answers. That's why there's still so much suspicion around this case, because none of the stories are making any sense, which is why they know that we know the stories aren't making sense, which is why they want to go and lawyer up and defend themselves now, because we're seeing through it. So I just wanted to, right, exactly. It's giving that girl, I don't know who this black woman they didn't put in the front, talking about I'm one of the relatives. Until the family come out and claim this lady, I ain't giving that too much credence. However, the fact that if it's true about this photo with Katie, she's lying. Because why would you be on the boat during the CTO call when they were getting pulled out, when you said you walked away from them and got back on the boat with somebody else? Your people came out and said so-and-so and so-and-so, your brother-in-law, somebody came and picked you up, or you went back with them. But now you might be on that boat. They're all lying. They're all lying. Okay, y'all. So the last thing I'm going to do, I want to play the video with Don Lemon, because y'all are saying, hey, it's worth looking at. So we're going to get into it. And as you can see, I kind of looked at it already earlier today, but I'm curious to see what his energy was like. Exactly. Who's Gabrielle? I'm confused. Be sneezy. Tell me who that is. Who is that? Who is she? You making me super curious. Who is Gabrielle? I'm going to look her ass up. Is she a content creator? I feel like I may have seen something. I don't know. Tell me. Put it in the chat. Put it in the chat. But let's watch this video, y'all. I want to see what y'all talking about. I want to see what y'all talking about when it comes to Don Lemon and his tune that has changed. Because I promise you, the only reason why I was drawn to him was because his tune was sounding, it made sense. So let's get into it. Hold on, is this one? Yeah, this one was from earlier today. And right away, Hot Topics, leaked Nolan Wells toxicology report is a fake. Okay.
Hello, everybody. Good morning. Good morning. I don't even want to tell you. It's a pain in the ass this morning because we have a couple of technical issues. And if you are usually watch us on TikTok, tell you people we have a technical issue with our account. So we're trying to figure out what's going on. We're here. Here we go. I'm so sorry. There was nothing that I could do about it. We tried and we tried and we tried. Am I right, Nikki, Andy? Can you tell the folks just so they know?
We tried. We were working hard.
We really did. We really did. I'm so sorry if you watch us on TikTok. Usually we will have that.
And I'm gonna keep his chat up too, because when I tell you I caught the end of this, I think, and saw those comments, I was like, what's that about?
Back up and running shortly.
We had that and we had some other things. So I don't know, like it's a Monday. All right. So let's just get to it. Let me know where you are streaming from. Thank you for waiting. Thank you for waiting. I really do appreciate you waiting. Thank you for being patient and waiting. Okay. And I have a lot to talk to you about. So here's the thing. Good morning, everybody. Look,
No, he wasn't having no technical issue. He got a phone call and they saw him queue up that live and said, let me tell you something, Lemonade. Not today. You better get it right. You better get your shit together. Okay? You are laying down with one of us. Once you do that, that's that. Hold on now. Hold on.
Oh, that I have been trying to figure out all weekend and why I couldn't get this Nolan Wells story out of my mind. You know that. I've been thinking about it. I've been trying to figure out, how do I get this story out of my mind? I can't get it out of my mind. I just keep coming back to it, wondering what happened. That's what everybody, is talking about. At first, I thought it was because we were waiting on the state autopsy, but I don't think that's it. That's not what it was. And then I thought maybe it was because—
Why not? Because we are. We're still waiting. It's sealed now. We won't know. We may not ever know the state autopsy. Oh my God. Oh my God.
Because there are still so many unanswered questions. And really, that wasn't the thing either. And then it hit me. The story wasn't about Nolan Wells anymore. It's about us, really. And let me just say that differently. It's about what we're becoming while we're waiting for all of those answers, for the answers on what's happening. Now, look, there are so many things that
What are we becoming? What you mean, Don? What are we becoming? Y'all, he's finna piss me off. The man ain't said but 6 sentences, and I'm already pissed because you're setting me up. Oh,
I can respond to from over the weekend that happened this weekend that we can talk about. I don't know if it's going to do anybody any good to discuss any of those things, even some of the people, even some of the clapbacks and all that. It's just, oh my gosh, I don't know if I'm even interested in that, because that takes a story away from Nolan Wells, and that's what people want. They want the attention on them. So I don't even want to focus on that. Some new—
but you're not. Let me just keep going.
Information. Yeah, we have some new information. But again, it's about what we are becoming. It's about what we're becoming while we're waiting on answers. I've never seen anything quite like this before. Everybody has a theory. And I mean, everybody has a theory. Somebody has a timeline. Somebody has—
And is he reading something? It seemed like he's looking at something and making sure he's hitting certain bullet points, in my opinion.
Screenshots. Somebody slowed down a video. Somebody zoomed in on a reflection. Somebody has a cousin who knows somebody who's heard something from somebody who is supposedly there. It's everything. Every day there's another thread. There's another post. There's another video. There's another person who is absolutely certain that they know what's going on. I did this. I did this. I triangulated.
Nobody is saying they're certain. Nobody is saying that they are certain about anything. They're all just following the story and pointing out the inconsistencies. He sound mad. He sound like he mad at us, y'all. He sound like he mad at us for following this case and coming to the conclusions that we're coming to because they're not giving us any information. Wow, Don.
Did this. And here's the crazy part. Half of those people disagree with each other. And more than half of them are not experts on anything. And most of them, well, shade intended, are not even journalists. They're content creators. They're something or whatever. They're not even journalists. They're just content creators that are looking for clicks. But they are all equally convinced that they are right and that they know something. And then this weekend, now I did not want to, everyone's asking for information. I want to knock down information because people are just putting things on the internet. And I fault, mainly, I fault the investigators. I fault the investigators on not having a timely response to these things, not having a cadence about a regular cadence about updating people. So I fault them. This weekend, a document starts making the rounds online claiming to be Nolan's toxicology report. Did you guys see that? Hit the like and the thumbs up. Let me know if you've seen it. I'll just put it up for a minute. And so Andy put that up. So this is, let me just tell you, it's not real. According to all sources, it's not real, including the people who are in Mississippi. Now everybody's got the name of it and the department and all the things. And anyways, it's fake and they're warning. I'll play a report from you in just a little bit. But this weekend, this document was making its round online, claiming to be Nolan's toxicology report. The family says it's fake. The representatives say it's fake. The officials in Mississippi say it's fake. The official toxicology report hasn't even been released yet. And people are arguing over this anyways. You can take it down, Andy. People are arguing over this anyways, as if it is real. Again, it is not real. I like to bat down the misinformation. And I had to laugh for a second. It's laughable. It's not funny. Not because it's funny, because it is unbelievable. We have reached the point where we're debating evidence that apparently isn't even evidence.
He's reading a script. They gave him talking points. He's reading them. His tone was not like this a day ago, a few days ago, a week ago. He was not talking like this. This is a total shift. Because now he's combating. He's one of us as well. he has what he is an official journalist, but you're doing the same thing that we're all doing. Following the investigation, following the story, calling out the inconsistencies. Now you're backtracking, saying, well, at first I was talking about the investigators and how they're not but now we're just all becoming something crazy and going off conspiracies. No, Donnie. Oh yeah, you got a call. Yeah.
We're debating this audio thing it's not evidence yet. I mean, look, it could lead to something. But as I said last week, even the woman who did the audio analysis says, this is my interpretation, and it should not be the only interpretation, but people are taking it as if it's fact, as if it's
Hold on, let me see. Now he is questioning the audio call. I see the comments. It says, yes, I saw how sad that you're saying it was fake. Well, we do know something bad happened to him. Friends don't leave friends. Facts. The investigators don't give a damn. They're in cahoots with the sheriff and the DA, all directed by the governor. Exactly. Lemonade.
exactly what the people said. We don't know that yet. I'm sorry. I know that you guys, people want to hear that. And they're like, she said this, she said Nolan, she said dead, she said that. We don't know yet. Yeah, I've heard things. I've heard like words, but we don't know.
Oh my God.
Then I started thinking about the people caught in the middle of all this, and which is the main reason we should slow our roll on a lot of this stuff. Nolan's mother. Can you imagine? She talked about it in an exclusive interview with us on Friday. She talked about people making up things, people talking about alcohol and all of that stuff, and what may or may not have been in the system, is all of that, blaming a victim. She says, we know the patterns. You saw the interview, if you can find that part of it, and I think it's probably on social media, and we'll play it for you later. Can you imagine you lose your son, and now you have strangers on the internet telling you how to grieve, questioning every interview, every decision, questioning your motives as a parent who has lost an 18-year-old son. As if anybody watching on YouTube knows what losing a child is supposed to look like. And for one of those kids to say, well, you know what? Nolan would be heartbroken or horrified, I'm paraphrasing, about the way his parents are handling this. What? How dare you? How dare you? First of all, how dare you?
Hold on, I'm gonna pause it right there. I did appreciate that remark, but it says like someone in the chat said they're threatening your job because you demand justice. Yeah, they're clocking his ass. They're clocking him in the comments. Wowzers. We need to be demanding answers from the sheriff. We should be doing a damn press conference with either an update or a timeline weekly.
Speak for the parents and to criticize the parents in that way, especially if you don't know how they're grieving. You don't look like you're grieving. And the other thing is, how dare you speak for the dead? How dare you? And then even here in our own house, the threats, the online chatter about our very own Daniel, who works with us. He's doing what reporters do. He's making calls, he's asking questions, he's following leads, he's trying to separate fact from fiction, he's trying to keep it non-emotional, and then people are—
Wow, okay. Yeah. It's a wrap, y'all. It's a wrap because he's sounding very much so like that damn GiveSendGo we just read. Does he not? Is he not sounding like everything that was said in that? They're talking about going after content creators and people talking and making things up. He sounds just like them in this video. Wow.
Attack him. They call him biased. They say he's part of some conspiracy. Maybe he's one of the friends. I mean, and he doesn't know these people from a hole in the wall. He's never met them. Based on what? What? Because he reported something that they didn't want to hear. And then those teenagers, they're being attacked. As a matter of fact, we're going to play a report for you. Their families and them, they're being attacked, and law enforcement has jumped in. I'll play that for you in a minute. Ben Crump, attacked as well. Sheriff Ledbetter, getting all kinds of criticism. Some of it is warranted. Much of it is. He's not being very transparent, and he's picking and choosing who he speaks to. I haven't seen, since it happened, since the first day, not an open press conference where he just comes out and answers questions. Haven't seen it. The parents attacked, reporters attacked. At some point, over the weekend, I stopped and I asked myself, so who's left? Who's left that hasn't become the enemy? And then I realized something else.
Well, why is this the topic of your conversation when we should continuously be talking about finding answers for Nolan, Don Lemon? You're making this now about the people that are trying to help. We don't really have that much power, but if we can point out the inconsistencies and it brings them to justice, what's wrong with that? And why aren't you criticizing the investigators that are doing nothing? That have not presented any type of evidence, that haven't presented any type of facts for us to not have to go off of the rails and create our own stories. You're making it about you. Now you talk about somebody you work with that's getting threats now too. Oh yeah, you definitely got a call, my nigga.
Else. Do you know who's getting lost in all this? I think you know who's getting lost in all this. Tell me if you know in the comments. Guess who's getting?
Yeah, and you're saying it. You're actually helping it get lost in all of this by hosting a show like this with thousands of people watching, and you're talking about everything is fake and people are harassing people and blah 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 blah. And yeah, I heard the audio, but we don't know. We don't know. Oh wow, you're full of shit. Damn.
Lost in all of this. Nolan. Thank you, Shug H. Nolan. Thank you, Taurus. Thank you. Nolan is getting lost in all this. We've turned this into Team Sheriff, Team Crump, Team Teenagers, Team Parents, Team YouTube, Team TikTok, Team Facebook, Team Black. If you don't believe it, you didn't hear that, you're not black enough. Team, I don't know if they even call it Oreo anymore, but team, all of it. If you're like, wait a minute, I didn't really hear that. Well, you ain't black. We don't know. No, look, you guys know I'm well aware of the history of Mississippi. I know what's up with Mississippi. I'm well aware of how disingenuous some of these interviews sound. I'm well aware of people who being in power hiding things, well aware of that. But for sure, we don't know. Now, we can surmise. Some things are obvious and they make sense. But everybody's on a team now. But who is on Team Nolan?
Not you anymore. You getting scared. You being phony. You're giving in to the pressures of the powers that may be, because you have been putting a really good microscope on this case and calling out the differences. Truly, you have. Not anymore. You're not Team Nolan anymore. You're Team the other side. Okay.
Because I believe Team Nolan ought to be the people who say, you know what? Slow down. Or as we say, slow your roll. Or as my mentor used to say, Frida, who worked at NBC, cool your jets. Cool your jets. Take a breath. Slow down. Let's get this right. Let's stop pretending we know things that we don't know.
And people are saying some of this could have been avoided if there was transparency from the beginning. Exactly. Why wasn't there any authentic transparency? Every time the sheriff, every time the DA came out, it was a defense. It was very, the tone was very condescending. It was like, we're not gonna let these people impede on our investigation. We're not gonna release anything. We're not gonna be rushed either. No.
Let's stop passing around fake documents. Let's stop convicting people. Let's stop exonerating people. And let's stop deciding what happened before the people whose job it is to investigate have finished investigating. Now, we can criticize them. We can analyze them. We can report on them. We can give our own opinions about things. We can give our own points of view.
That's all we've been doing. What the fuck is the problem?
About things. But at the end of the day, do we really know, even for the people out there saying, oh yeah, I know. Oh yeah, I know what happened. I know what happened. I know what I heard. I know what I heard. I know you know what you heard, but you know what you heard within a snippet of 30 seconds of random words from random people. Again, you can surmise. So let's stop deciding what happened before the people whose job it is to investigate have finished doing the investigating. I know, but look, that's not exciting. That doesn't get you thrilled. That's not like the mystery of things. As a matter of fact, I was having, do you guys know who Eddie Glaude is? Eddie, I have Eddie's book right here. And Eddie's going to join me in studio this week. I saw him yesterday, and this is Eddie's book, right? And we had Eddie on the show, and Eddie's like, America, USA, How Race Shadows a Nation's Anniversaries, Eddie S. Glaude Jr. So Eddie and I were talking about this yesterday. He's going to come on, and he's like, look, there's, you know, well, I'll let him explain to you why he believes that this has captured the heart of the nation. A lot of it has to do with race. A lot of it has to do with the history of Mississippi. A lot of it has to do with the news media. A lot of it. I know that that's not exciting to, you know, not like to come up with something, but the mystery crime people, I mean, that is no wonder now for me with this experience why crime.
Comment, Don, you are letting them people get to you. Don, I do not appreciate you lecturing me and treating me and your audience like children. I'm out. Bye, Don. Damn. What do we do when we see biases and law enforcement doesn't want to investigate? We have to hold them accountable. That's all people have been doing. Somebody else said, we don't need a sermon. We need answers. This stream that he did. This was him reprimanding us. Telling us to fall back like the other side wants us to. I'm very disappointed and disgusted.
Is like the #1 category in streaming and podcasting. If you want you want success, just do a crime mystery podcast. And it's usually if they're good, they go gangbusters, even if you don't know. And especially if you like put some fancy graphics behind it and breaking bombshell, you're gonna be a success.
He's mocking people. He's making fun. People that are genuinely concerned, people that are genuinely wanting to find answers, now he's making a mockery of them.
But the truth always comes down to the truth.
The truth that the investigators have yet to put out. You keep saying truth this, truth that, but you're not putting the pressure on the people that should be sharing the truth at all. It should be, why are those documents sealed? Why haven't we heard any witness statements? Why is Christine left with so many unanswered questions? She sat there in that car and told you on her stream, on the last stream that you did with her and Ben Crump, that she's like, we haven't even been able to mourn yet. We haven't even been able to mourn yet because we still don't have any answers. And you're talking about we need to be dealing with the truth. We have yet to know the truth.
I don't know yet is not very sexy. It's not a sexy headline. But you know what? Sometimes it's the most honest sentence in the English language is that I don't know yet. I don't know what happened to Nolan Wells, and neither do you. The sheriff doesn't know yet. He might.
People in the comments say, our ears did not deceive us. Justice. Exactly. Like, you heard that shit. You didn't have to like, oh. You heard the words coming out them boys' mouth. I'm reading the comments, y'all. Let's see. Okay, let's keep going.
I'd have some idea. Maybe there's something that they're withholding. What are they hiding? They could be hiding something. We don't know. I'm just saying. It's true. Remember, it is Mississippi. Ben Crump doesn't know yet, or he might know something too, because he has the independent autopsy. And that may have revealed some stuff that they know and they're not sharing with us. It's their right. They don't have to. The investigators don't have to share anything. But I think to clear things up, they should. The people making the YouTube.
Wait a minute. This one was a good comment. I'm Team Nolan. Content creators are putting out false narratives. One was on your show. Who are you talking about?
Videos certainly do not know yet. That's why I haven't done I have my idea about what I think would happen, but I haven't put together a whole thing yet because I just don't know. Because you put it out there and people are going to go, oh, I saw it on Don Lemon and Don Lemon said this is what happened. Because there's like, you know what I'm saying? I don't want that. The people posting on Facebook, they don't know. The people who are writing on these Reddit threads, I've seen all of it. They don't know. People are clipping us everywhere. Good. But that is why there's an investigation. That's why there's forensic evidence. That's why there's a state autopsy. That's why there is a cell phone being examined or cell phones. And that's why there may be a grand jury. There will be a grand jury. That's not an argument for this. Is that they're going to.
It's not a grand. I mean, just because there's a grand jury involved now doesn't mean that it's going to bring us any closer to the truth. In the last video, we talked about how the grand jury decides if it needs an indictment or not in order to go to trial to further investigate. If they've determined that there is no foul play that deserves an indictment, we won't hear shit. Which is why we need all the information now. You know what I mean? Like, we need all the information now, Donnie. What the fuck is going on? It says, we will not be silenced by them people trying to save their kids. I'm so sick of feeling like this and people playing in our feelings or emotions. This boy was murdered. He was harmed, either purposely or accidentally by them boys. We need answers. Play a portion of the original version and ask for a consensus like you just did about who getting lost in the discussion instead of just assuming we're being irrational and tribalistic. Yeah, they on his ass. They on his ass. Someone else said, how do we know we can trust the investigation?
Send it to the grand jury, because the purpose of an investigation isn't to confirm what we already believe. It is to find out what actually happened. It is not confirmation bias, which is what a lot of people are looking for. And here's what I am wondering this morning when those answers finally come. Will we be willing to hear those answers? Do you guys know what confirmation bias is? If you somebody look up confirmation bias for me. And
somebody else said, don't tell us we heard random words because you scared. All you black journalists scary. You go on the news, you hear them taking up for the boys saying a lot, especially Megyn Kelly's strong face. We know. Damn. I'm trying to find the ones you talking about. Yeah. And now he's saying, what would be okay? What would we do if we hear the truth and basically it's not what we thought it was? Then it ain't what we thought it was. We asking y'all to prove us wrong. It's like, okay, cool. At least we got the truth. But they've given us nothing. But you have no critique of that, though.
If you can, and then just read it to me. Just Google confirmation bias. Do you guys know what confirmation bias is?
Yes, we know.
When those answers finally come, will we be...
Somebody sent him a super chat and said, never forget this was the weekend of 250 years in Mississippi. That has always nagged me. And I am over any benefit of the doubt at this point. Both my parents hail from Columbus, Mississippi. I promise you, they are like, wake up.
Willing to hear them. Who's there? Is an intern there that can read it to me? Haley, Olivia, somebody?
But they were quick to say Nolan was extremely intoxicated. They put out the false information out, Don. Do not fall for it. Right. Get on his ass. Because why not call that out? What's going on? Just being jazz. How are you? My namesake. We're twins. But why not point that out? They automatically assumed that there was no foul play without any proof of that, without an autopsy report, a toxicology report, any suspects, any witness statements, nothing. Then double down and say that he was super drunk without even knowing anything. They already put out false information without any evidence. But you coming at us because we are analyzing the evidence that we can see with our own eyes, watching body language, listening to these interviews, seeing the inconsistencies in the stories. But now we the problem, Don? Damn. I got to unsubscribe too. Damn.
Here we go on the screen.
What is it? Let me get it on my screen. Hang on. I have to get it on the secondary screen because my screen. Okay. Confirmation bias. People's tendency to process information by looking for or interpreting information that is consistent with their existing beliefs. This biased approach to decision-making is largely unintentional, and it results in a person ignoring information that is inconsistent with their beliefs. These beliefs can include a person's expectations in a given situation and their predictions about a particular outcome. People are especially likely to process information to support their own beliefs when an issue is highly important or self-relevant. And that's where we are. And that's where, look, that's why do you think people sit down and they watch Fox News all day? Confirmation bias. I knew it. See, I knew them Democrats were like that. I knew those libtards were like that. That's what they're doing. I knew Biden was bad. That's why they watch Fox News all day. And now that's not the same, because I'm not going to go, well, there's also MSNBC. It's not the same. MSNBC does not put election deniers on their air. They're doing a very good job right now. So say what you want. Are they on the liberal side? Yeah, I think they're on the liberal side, but I also think they're doing the right thing. I also think there's no room for liars. And they're not inviting people on who are going to lie to them on purpose or spread misinformation. But that's why people sit down and they watch conservative media all day, is because it's confirmation bias. They don't care about facts.
What do you think the state of Mississippi is on with you? Or on with everybody? They don't care about the facts. Clearly. You have to consider the historical context. They've been killing niggas, right? And ruling them as suicide, or ruling them as mysterious deaths. No real justice has ever been served. So now you're trying to make us believe that we need to just sit back and trust these investigators, knowing their history of investigations. And what about that damn autopsy lady? What's the right name? A coroner or whatever the fuck? Why not discuss that part? Why not discuss the fact that the history of that autopsy reporter, or the woman that does the autopsy down there, has a horrible reputation, horrible record on hand? But now you're telling us, Don, that we need to just all relax and chill. I don't like that. I don't like that. You done pissed me off for the night. Wait a minute. You said go back up. Comment is being paid off. Let me see. Did they say that to him? Let me see. Oh, somebody said you had a nerve to be mad when everyone was excited about Nancy and she would never bow down like this. Damn. And I've heard, conflicted stories about Nancy too. Not everybody like her. MAGA just keeps on winning. I'm mad because I care for the title. I'm mad because and that was another thing. He baited us with that title. The autopsy was fake. I'm thinking, oh, maybe they lied about him being intoxicated on the autopsy. Maybe that's the news. But no, he's saying the whole thing was just fake in general. Oh, wait a minute. I'm trying to find it. Somebody said, is he on drugs? He acting strange as hell. They're not buying it, Donnie. They're not buying it. They're not buying it. That's it. They said, Don, we're not trying to. I can't find that comment, baby. But I can believe it. At this point, I can believe that he definitely was paid off. Let me see. Let me keep going. Hold on.
They do not care about facts at all. And I'm not done yet. Let me get a word in from our sponsors and I'm going to continue on with this. I want to tell you this. Look, here's some math that some people don't like thinking about. You protect your low mortgage rate, but if you're carrying credit card debt of 25% or more, that's the number that's quietly draining your bank account every single month. And that's why so many homeowners are calling American Financing. I'm trying to help you out because people don't want to touch, the mortgage that they have now, but then they have these credit card debts of like 25%, or a credit card, their rates are 25% or more. That's crazy. So people are calling American Financing. They're using their home equity to pay off high interest debt, and customers who save are saving on average $800 a month. That's real savings. There are no upfront.
Okay, I was reading the comments. I can't find that comment you're talking about, but I believe you. You'll see a money bag emoji. Okay, I'm gonna find it, Biz. Biz, I'm gonna have to mod you up. Okay, you be able to stop. I mean, I believe it. I believe it at this point, because this is a whole different side of Don. His tone has changed. His views are changed, and he's literally like, "You guys need to stop this." Type energy towards us. I can't find it, boo. And we got to keep moving. But I believe you. Trust me when I tell you. See if you could go find a screenshot and then send it.
Fees. There's no pressure. It costs nothing to find out what you might save. So credit card debt is eating a hole in your wallet and in your savings. And they can figure out a way to help you get out of that. It costs nothing to find out what you might save. And if you start today, you may even be able to delay 2 mortgage payments. Here's the number to call: 888-675-4090. That's 888-675-4090. Or you can visit AmericanFinancing.net/lemon. That's AmericanFinancing.net/lemon. Okay, so I said that, people are posting all this stuff on Facebook, they're posting on Reddit, and that's why there's an investigation. That's why there's forensic evidence. That's why there's a state autopsy. That's why, again, as I said, that people are examining cell phones, and that's why there's a grand jury, which is not out of the ordinary for these kinds of things. The purpose, as I said, of this is not confirmation bias. It's not to confirm what you already think what you already believe, and you think that's what happened. It's to find out.
But that's what they doing. They believe it was no foul play without evidence, without proof. They believe that, he was drunk with no proof. So what's your tea?
Exactly what happened. And here's what I am wondering this morning. When we finally get those answers, when we finally get those answers, are we going to be willing to hear them? Be honest with yourself.
Are you?
What if it's not what you think it is? On either side, where if you think like something happened to them, it was nefarious, people there had something to do with it, or if it was an accident, or if it was a drama. Are you ready to believe what the evidence shows?
Oh yeah, he's reading the whole script.
Or have you already made up your minds? Have we already made up our minds? Tell me what you think in the comments. Tell me what you think in the comments. Now, there's people in the comments saying, Don, you already know what's coming. No, I don't. I have no idea. I've been saying this since the very beginning. Now, do I see some things that are shady? Yes, I've been saying that from the very beginning. And even for someone to write a comment like that, if you think you already know what's coming, I don't think that there's any excuse for, no matter what happened, no matter what the outcome, for someone to die. And if you think that that is folly or fun, that, oh, you know what's coming, and someone's dead, no. The same people who think stuff like that are the same people who are offended by people criticizing and analyzing Charlie Kirk's death. When people say, Charlie Kirk, I didn't think the man should die that way, but he said some horrible shit about people. I think he was racist. Not I think he was racist. The things that came out of his mouth were racist. Those same people are like, oh, how dare you? Oh my God, why do you talk about Charlie that way? And then, they're like, oh, crying about your friend. Oh. Yeah, the man shouldn't have died. He espoused some horrible views that did not need to be in the arena. Should not be part of the way Americans think about each other. Have you already made up your minds? Because if we have already decided, then this stopped being a search for the truth a long time ago.
Shut the fuck up. Now I'm mad. Now I'm mad. This is gaslighting. This is him flipping the whole script to make it seem like we're the ones impeding on an investigation that is not even being thorough. He's making it seem like we are the ones that's doing all this corruption while we're talking about a state that is known for wrongful deaths and corruption. And you got the motherfucking gaydacity to come at us because we calling out the bullshit. You a sellout ass bitch. I'm sorry, Don. I'm not sorry. But that's some sellout ass shit right there you just did. And I'm utterly disgusted because if you can have that big ass platform and backtrack your statements and try to attack the people that really are looking for and really care. We care about this boy. I care about this boy like this is my nephew. Like this is my brother. How fucking dare you come up here and try to make it seem like we're just all just running off of just nonsense. And they haven't given us anything, which is why everybody's running on conclusions. I keep saying it. I keep saying it over and over and again. They're the ones not being transparent. They're the ones that's not being honest. They're the ones that's not being fucking truthful. You fucking dickhead. Dick in a booty ass motherfucker. And it's like, I ain't got a problem with the gays, but you a black gay getting bent over by a white one? Yeah, no. I'm losing respect. I'm losing respect. See, I thought you was gonna hold it down, P.O.P. I thought you was gonna keep it real and be honest about everything that you're seeing, like how you've been. I ain't never been drawn to Don Lemon until this case. Because I caught it and I heard how he was talking. He was like, what the? No, that's like he was really standing on business. Now you want to gaslight me, bitch? Okay. I see the play and I see what's going on. These people, are being paid. And that's why I think, is this all just a psyop? Are they just all playing in our faces? Because now I think you in on it too, Donnie. Now I think you're in cahoots. Now I think you got something to do with this shit. Lord have mercy on me.
It became something else. It became a fight over whose story wins. Which team wins?
We don't have a story from them. We don't have their story. That's the fucking problem. But no critique of that though, right? Okay.
And that part really, really worries me because the only story that really matters, and I'm back to it again, is the thing that people are forgetting about in all of this. Which team wins? This creator fighting with this creator. This one's owning this person. This one's calling somebody else a name. That's all in it. All well and good. That happens. But the one thing that really matters is Nolan's story, is Nolan Wells.
And here you are taking away from his story, taking away from getting answers from him by gaslighting us and telling us we all need to shut the fuck up and just let the investigation play out when we know we can't just allow the investigation to play out because we will know absolutely nothing. They know that we on their ass. They know that we can see right through their bullshit, which is why they're putting up GiveSendGos, which is why they're talking about defamation lawsuits and all type of shit. Cause they're guilty. You said what, bitch? With the red what? No transparency. You said with the red what? He's full of lies and white DNA and white dick. He's been corrupted. He's been compromised. The ass is full of white peen. Okay? If that ain't a humiliation, I don't know what it is. No tea, no shade.
So what I will say to you is that let's keep this real, everybody. Let's stop being on teams and let's listen for a minute for the facts. Even with your confirmation bias, listen for the facts. Whether you are team, whatever it is, you should be team truth. But if you're team Nolan or your team family or your team friends or if you're team law enforcement, no matter what it is, listen with an open mind. Now, I'm not saying be a Pollyanna, be Pollyannish and be stupid, because circumstantial evidence is, people go to prison on circumstantial evidence.
And guess what? If it was black folks involved in this, they will be sitting in jail as we speak. As we speak. Based off what you just said right then and there. That's all they need to throw a nigga in jail. But ain't nobody been accused of nothing. Nobody has been spoken to about it at all.
And remember, as they have been warned by pathologists, with a pathologist on, first thing she said was that it's the autopsy is not the end of the story. It tells you the manner. I don't know the manner or the means or whatever it is, but there are a whole lot of other circumstances that come into play. So let's keep it real and keep our eyes on exactly what it should be. Now, I'm going to play some reports for you. I'm going to talk more about this, about you. Make sure you hit the like and the thumbs up because it is important and affects the algorithm. More people become aware of our conversation and our channel. So here's a word from our sponsors. And this is a good time for this. 250 young women. I was like, boy, what is this? And people are like, is this real? Is it not? Is it real? And it's like, even if it was leaked, you still don't know if it's real unless someone confirms it. And thank you very much for someone who says, why the tone? I have not. You may think that I shifted tone because you have been watching somebody else or you have confirmation bias.
Uh-oh.
Not there have been.
Uh-oh. He didn't acknowledge somebody's comment saying that his tone has shifted. He's a little upset.
Plenty of people on this channel that have had lots of ideas about what happened, what they think. Plenty of people. But I've never made a judgment on what happened. I talked about the investigators seems like they dropped the ball. The sheriff is being too tight-lipped. The friends are out here talking and speaking for the parents, talking shit about the parents. Nolan would be unhappy or whatever they said about the way his parents are handling it. I would never, ever, ever, to my friends, even my enemy's mom, say some shit like that. I'm just saying. And I've been saying all along when people say, everybody, you guys have heard it on this program, when they say, well, you guys have to stop thinking that those boys had anything to do with it. We're saying nobody's thinking that those boys saying that. Nobody's saying that. People are analyzing the evidence, and people are analyzing people who have put themselves in front of cameras and microphones. It's not like we went out seeking information or response from those people. They went on to a channel and put themselves in front of the world. And guess what? When you do that, the world is going to scrutinize you. In this day and age, you can't think you should know, there's no way to think otherwise. That is not going to happen. Thank you very much, Dr. Robin. Don has been consistent in seeking answers. Experts on to help. Everybody understand. I appreciate you. And just because I have been Crump on, I ask him questions, I ask the parents questions, they're free to answer the way that they want. So don't tell me there's been a tone shift.
It has.
So this is a report about the autopsy report, the fake one that's going around that I've been telling you about. Watch this.
The investigation.
Oh, so now there's a fake autopsy report? I know that you're claiming that it was a fake toxicology, but now there's a fake autopsy. So you're saying the one that Ben Crump put out, the one that he did, because those were the only results that we were able to get. You're saying that that is now fake? Okay.
Continues surrounding the death of Nolan Wells, and as a story of the Mississippi 18-year-old has gained massive traction on social media, Public Safety Commissioner Sean Tindall is clearing.
Somebody said, Don, just move on. If you don't feel comfortable speaking on Nolan, Nancy Grace got it. Yeah, they're not buying it.
False reports. The commissioner took to social media to say, quote, the purported toxicology report from Nolan Wells is circulating through social media on various outlets is fraudulent. Nolan's family, friends, and most importantly, Nolan himself deserve better. Fraudsters, AI, and social media are a recipe for disaster. All they want you to do is click and share. Don't.
I think it's one of the dangers that we face in the modern world where, evidence gets out into the public realm and it can be, and I'm not saying this was manipulated, but audio can certainly be manipulated. Pictures can be manipulated. Video can be manipulated and rather easily. And so, I think it's something that we have to keep in mind these days.
Tindall also says the evidence will reveal the facts, adding that digital forensics professionals regularly analyze this type of information and should be allowed to examine it.
So there you go. There's a warning. And then I mentioned earlier about the mother of Nolan Wells responding to some of the things that are out there, some of the things that people are saying, even some of the fake reports, even the smearing of her son, because no matter what happens, look, no one deserved to die. We've been saying that all along, no matter what happens. Here's the mom in an exclusive interview on this very show on Friday morning.
We've seen this before, right? Pattern recognition. We've seen this where things have happened, especially when we talk about the Black community. And, after the death, it's a smear campaign. It's, what can we find out about this person? What can we say? And, that's something, my family and I, especially my husband and I, we definitely do not appreciate. But, we can't fight everyone that wants to have an opinion. But also, too, it's part of society that has been allowed to occur, which is it's gut-wrenching at best. Because if you were in our situation, how would you feel if there were millions of people who are saying, oh, hey, well.
Right. Somebody, I'm reading the comments at this point because we went through this the other day, but somebody in the comments just said, Don, why was there a need to lawyer up, erase messages, and closing social media accounts if them boys are innocent? Exactly. Why isn't those questions being posed when you're discussing dealing with the facts? Because lowering up, erasing messages, and closing social media accounts are all facts. You're telling us that we need to go off the facts and the evidence. Well, those are the facts. Why you ain't talking about that though? Why isn't that? What that should raise concerns to know to have you realize, yeah, there's something wrong here. There's something wrong here, and we don't know if we have have you even asked if the investigators are doing their job when it comes to the reasoning behind why they deleted their social media accounts after their friend went missing? Because you're telling us that we need to trust the process, basically, which we know that doesn't work in our favor ever when it comes to these situations. This is very disappointing.
He was at an island. He was heavily drunk. And again, even with the drinking, there are so many conflicting stories, only because I have spoken with adults who knew Nolan very well, coaches that were out there. One in particular, I think he told me he saw Nolan somewhere between like 2:45 and 3:30. He was like, Christine, yeah, we talked for a while. We talked about college. We talked about his life, his plans. And he was like, he was perfectly fine. Because I think it had bothered him too, that there was this narrative of, oh, he was sloppy drunk. Like that's, and it started at the very beginning. It was, oh, he was sloppy drunk. And I'm like, but was he though? Or is this a narrative that you guys want to use to kind of have us just accept that it was a drowning?
So that was a mom last week. Now, let me get to the threats that have been made against people and some of the false. When I tell people to slow your roll, and that's for some of you too, posting stuff online, and especially for some of the content creators. When you're posting stuff online and you're giving reports, you don't know exactly what's real and what's not. Now, according to a report last week, one of the young men who was involved or who was there, his parents said that they've retained an attorney for a false report that is online. And also the threats. I mentioned the threats that have been made even to a member of our staff, the threats that have been made to people who are involved in this story or in this case. And here's a report on what has happened now because people are actually being arrested. Roland.
Due to speculation and tension growing nationwide, law enforcement agencies have been monitoring threats made to several parties involved in the investigation. Now, an arrest has been made. According to court documents, Joseph Alfredo Vasquez Dumars is in custody for an alleged death threat sent to Jackson County Chancery Judge Ashley Cole, the stepmother of one of the friends who traveled to Horn Island on July 4th with Nolan Wells. According to court documents, Dumars sent a direct message on Facebook referencing a package being sent to Cole's office, reading, "It's gonna blow you away when you see it."
The threats that are going out there from various people, that has to stop. I mean, it's just absolutely unacceptable. We're better than that.
Now, mind you, these are threats that the other side is getting, highlighting the threats that the mom, one of the white boys is getting, their white families. This is making headline news. Whispers about the threats and the defamation that Christine and Nolan's family is getting, though.
In Mississippi, we're better than that on the coast, and we're better than that as a society. And that's what I'm most disappointed about, is the viral discussion.
The viral debate, Tyndall says, means investigators have an added obstacle while hearing from witnesses.
So we have to make sure that we have a good, solid investigation. And we also want to make sure that witnesses that we're going to, that we're getting their impressions of what happened, not just based on what they see or hear on social media. So I think it has a real detrimental effect when people start particularly putting out misinformation on public venues and on the internet. And
yeah, I agree. I agree it was a fake threat. It's going to be so much blood. It's going to be big. You might want to be around. It sounds so performative. It sounds so performative. It sounds very fake. It doesn't give authentic death threat to me.
Tyndall says that with the circulation of misinformation, he encourages people to direct their eyes to what's happening locally.
If you're trying to find that information, talk to the people at Horn Island that day. Talk to the people that live down here that go out there regularly. That's where.
Are y'all talking to the people that went out there on? How can they? I want to figure out, like, what is a way that they can find all the boaters that were out there that day? Because if his friends saying they ain't come back with him, Katie saying she ain't come back with him, somebody, and then Warren said in the other videos, in the other interviews, that he knows people that saw Nolan leave. Where are those people, Don? Have you posed that question? As the investigators pose that question, do the investigators know that Warren said that he knows people that actually saw Nolan on that island after they left? Why is that just stalling right now?
If there's anything that happened, those are the people that have knowledge of what it is. And we need to be asking those questions down here, not across the country.
And it's very telling, the fact that the DA and the governor and the sheriff hasn't come out to speak about the threats that the mom has been getting, only about what these white boys are receiving. Crazy work.
And yes, we need to be answering those questions down there and across the country. Well, but people across the country are interested. I'm not sure if that is necessary. I don't believe that. I don't believe that part of it. I think that people, as I said, should slow the roll, but people should be keeping pressure on the investigators in Mississippi and keeping an eye on it, because they bear watching. They bear watching. The folks in Mississippi do.
I'm sure they are, and I'm sure they hit you up. But this is what we've been doing. This is helping to keep the pressure on the investigation. because they clearly are showing us that they don't really care to figure this thing out. So we're doing their job. And I'm just fucking like rewatching and recapping what all these other amazing content creators have done. They have been really in the field, putting coordinates together, putting plays together, all the things that the investigative work should be doing. They're not. And if you're saying, how do you know? Well, they're not being transparent. They're not being forthcoming with any information. So what do we do?
Because we don't know. There are too many people that are who have high positions there. There were too many people who are reportedly scrubbing their kids' social media. Too many people lawyering up so quickly. Like, there are some things. And even as I said, the things that are on that audio, from what if that audio is correct, because there was someone this weekend, I want to get it, I don't know what their credentials are, who were saying that he was skeptical of what the previous audio engineer, the original audio engineer, had put out about what they were saying. And also that audio, before she even got to it, it may have been manipulated. And she said the same thing in her analysis. She goes there and she came back. I don't know if you guys remember, said, it's leading me to believe I'm hearing some things, some anomalies in this.
And who's to say that they didn't manipulate that audio before it got leaked to throw people off? Like,
that's leading me to believe that something may have already been manipulated or this audio may have been touched already, but I don't know. But that's what my research and my experience are telling me, or indicating a possibility of that. You guys, I'm sure you guys remember that. So that's a concern. Benjamin Crump is also speaking out about some of the things, even the audio portion of it. But first, I need to get a word in from our sponsors, okay? Because we know what every business owner does at some point. You know what they do, right? They convince themselves that, oh, I can just do it myself. I did that. And then you're answering emails, you're fixing the website, you're like writing marketing copy, you're reviewing contracts, and then you're trying to learn Photoshop and somehow wondering why you're still behind. Why am I doing all of the meetings, the editorial, the business, all of it, the healthcare, the paychecks, everything. Oh my gosh, the problem solving, all of that. I've learned something. Just because you can do everything doesn't mean that you should do everything. And that's why I like Upwork. Upwork gives businesses access to highly skilled freelance professionals for everything from software development.
I didn't know that was a damn ad. Sorry, I was doing something else. All right, I'm over Don Lemon, y'all. He just pissed me off. We can see now he's a traitor. We can see now that he's full of shit. Yeah, he can't keep still. His eyes are a little jittery. The energy is very off and not consistent with what we were given up until now. Every single stream that he has put on, his energy was like, no, it's some bullshit. It sounds like the boys got something to do with it. The investigation is dragging ass. Now it's like, you guys wait. It's all lies. Y'all are doing too much, but stay on it. Well, what is the proper way to stay on it then, Don? What is the proper way to continue to put pressure on investigators? What would be the proper way to do that outside of what we're doing? You said, did you see the "you've been benefiting" comment? No, I didn't see it. It was going so fast. I don't know why I couldn't see some of those comments that you're pointing out, Big Shorty, but I appreciate you bringing them up. And I'm sure he's getting dragged in his regular comment section too if his live chat was like this. But what would be the best way to go about it? Because if we just stay silent, so will they. If we don't say nothing, they're not saying nothing. Which is why now we're saying something, and instead of easing our what do you call it? I'm hungry, y'all, so I'm getting a little faded. But like to ease our suspicion, to reduce confirmation bias, right? What are they doing to build transparency? Every time we talk, they're telling us to shut up. Every time we open our mouths, every time we put a video up, they're trying to silence people and scrub people's channels and demonetize and do weird shit, which is furthering increasing suspicion. I don't understand why we got to be quiet and they haven't said anything. No updates. Every time they open their mouth it's still being investigated. It's still being investigated. Yeah, it's still being investigated. And no, that won't be until the DA. I'm sorry, that won't be given to the public. That's going to be given to the grand jury. So what would be the best way to go about this without getting caught up in conspiracies, Don Lemon? You didn't really piss me off. But y'all, I want to leave y'all with some options, right? And tell me in the comments what y'all think, because I was thinking about some names for us. Okay. I really don't know what I want to call y'all. And maybe I'll do a poll. Right, exactly. Who dropped the audio? How did it get out to the public? I think this case is slowing. It's definitely slowing down. It's definitely slowing down. They're setting it up to let us know, yeah, we're not about to, this shit is over with. This is what we do. Okay. So y'all, what do y'all think about, I'm scared. I don't know. I think it's kind of corny. What do you think about Noelle? Oh my God, Big Sean's. You so funny to say that, because that was what I first thought of. Auntie's babies, for real. But I was like, I don't know, because I call I'm a self-proclaimed auntie. I am actually auntie, but I don't know if it lands or if it sticks. I'm like, Auntie's babies is cute. Auntie babies is cute. Okay, I like Auntie's babies. You said the Jasmine Knights. That's not bad. What about Noelle Nation? I don't know, because like I said, like, I'm Jazz Noelle, but I'm also Auntie. So we can go a lot of different ways, right? It's like, I do love Auntie's babies. That is very much so how I talk. You know what I mean? That's very natural. Noelle Nation. Noelle Nation. How are we feeling about Noelle? I like Noelle Nation. What else do I have up here? Oh, sorry. I got it on a different thing. What about the Jazz Pack? I don't know. Oh, the Jazz Pack? Noelle Nation. I feel like I'm going to do a poll. We got three good ones. Auntie's babies. I like Jasmine Knights. We'll throw that in there too. Thank you for contributing, D. Carlo. Jazz Club. Y'all like Jazz Club, or y'all like Jazz Pack? The Jazz Pack. Y'all like the Jazz Club? Wait a minute. The Jazz Club. The Jazz Club. And it kind of works because I'm also a singer that be singing in clubs. And my name is Jazz. Wait a minute. I think I like the Jazz Club, y'all. Hold on. What's up, Jazz Club? How you doing? Welcome to the Jazz Club. Wait a minute now. I think we might be cooking with grease. Is it the Jazz Club? Did we find it tonight? I think we found it, y'all. Should I do the poll first and put Jazz Club, Jazz Pack, Noelle Nation, Auntie's babies, or are we just good with the Jazz Club? That's cute. You say you voted the Jazz Band. That's funny. That was the name of my first band, the Jazz Band, but I changed it to the Jazz Effect. That's so funny you said that, Holden. That was the name of the first collective, because I have my own, y'all know I sing. So I lead in a lot of other bands, but I also have my own collective, and I was first called the Jazz Band, but then I changed it to the Jazz Effect. You know what I mean? The Jazz Effect. Highly effective jazz. Okay. But wait, Jazz Club. I think I'm leaning towards that, but I think I want to do a little poll. Biz, don't beat me up. I think we'll do a little poll just to make it a little bit more fun. But I might be leaning towards the Jazz Club. It's cute. I like that. Club Jazz. I like that. The Jazz Club or Club Jazz. You know, it hit different when you say it different. Welcome to Club Jazz. Or is it the Jazz Club? I don't know. I've never named the audience. So this is very new for me. Y'all gotta help me. Help Auntie. Help Auntie out. Being said, the voice, nobody else votes count, but them there. You cover jazz? Yes, I actually did a Billie Holiday tribute out here in Chicago last year. Did a whole Billie Holiday tribute, 3 sets. So yes, I love jazz music. The irony is there, right? Hold on, Biz. Let me do you right real quick, cause you you be showing up and showing out. Let me see. Hold on, let me see real quick. Hold on, let me see, Busy. You earned it. You earned it. You earned it, gang. You earned it. Welcome Jazz to the welcome Big Shorty to the moderator club, y'all. Wait a minute. Shout out to y'all for helping me out. Appreciate it. What you say we could be called Jazz, the Jazz Club and the Jasmine Nights? Yes, it was a flower in my hair. Yes, I did all that. I had the white flower. I wore kind of like a traditional A-line dress, something of that era that gave that. It was great. It was a great show. It was a Billie Holiday tribute, so we did mostly Billie Holiday songs, but we also incorporated, songs of that era, jazz songs and music and other artists of that era, just to fill it up. Y'all want to see a clip? Oh my God, y'all! I got to go. Hold on, let me see. Let me see what I got. Oh man, I ain't never really expose it like that to the people on my Instagram. There should be some videos up there, but let me see. Hold on. Let me see what I got. Let me see. Okay, wait. Here go a video. Oh my God. Why y'all cuties so scared? Hold on. Let me see. Do I want to go this? I don't know. How do I pull it? Because this is in my gallery. So let me see. How do I pull it from my whatchamajigger? Okay, you know what? Here's what I'm going to do. Until I figure that out. Let me see. You guys, I'm nervous. Okay. Let me see. Wait, where did it go? Yeah, I'm trying to find it, or I'm trying to get it right. Why won't it let me share my screen to this? Oh, I know why. Okay, let me see. Okay, bear with me, y'all. I ain't never pulled a image like this from this side. So let me try it this way. Video. Let's go to this. Let's go to. Y'all, how do I do it? Oh my God. Hold on. I'm not playing because I got the video right here, but it's in my whatchamacallit. Hold on. Oh, you know what? Okay, hold on. Let me see. I'm so confused right now. Y'all got me doing extra. Okay. Y'all got me. Yes, it's on my phone. Should I just show it to you like this? You know what I mean? It's in my gallery and I'm trying to figure out how to pull up something from my gallery on my phone in my regular. Hold on. Let me see. Wait. Okay. Hold on. Let's see. Now it's buffering. Child. They trying to sabotage me, y'all. And it's in my favorites. I don't know how to get to my favorites on my computer. How do I do it? Can I just show y'all? I'm gonna just show y'all like this. I'm so mad. I don't know how to do it. I do not know how to pull up that video on my, what you call it? I am not scared. I am scared, but I'm not scared. I really cannot figure out how to pull it up. Okay, I don't know. Let me try this. Let me try it like this. Okay, hold on. I think we got it. Hold on. Okay, let me see. I appreciate y'all wanted to see me sing and stuff, but this is the first time I'm doing this, and I'm just like, y'all don't understand how nerve-wracking it is for me to like share my artistry. It's a weird thing. It's a very weird thing. Trust me when I tell you. Trust me when I tell ya. Okay. I think I got it. Here we go. I'm gonna rename it so I can find it. Okay. Thank y'all for being patient. Y'all funny as hell. I love that. The Jazz Club. I know, but I know social media is for promoting myself, but I'll be very in my head about stuff, y'all. I'll be like, it's not good enough. I'll be like, it's not good enough. This shit sucks. Who wants to hear that? That's that imposter syndrome they be talking about.
Just leave me alone. I got those Monday blues, straight through Sunday blues. Good morning, heartache. Here we go again. Good morning, heartache. You're the one who knew me well. Might as well get used to you. Hanging around. Good morning, heartache. Sit down.
Oh my God. I couldn't believe I showed y'all that. Oh my God. Did you like it? Oh my God. My heart beating so fast. What the frick? Why'd y'all make me do that? Did you like it? Put some purple hearts. If you still in the building, put some purple hearts. Did y'all like that? Did y'all like the Jazz Club? Let me know. Let me give myself a round of applause. That was Billie Holiday's song. That was Billie Holiday's song, Good Morning, Heartache. So, mind you, I loved Billie Holiday, but I had to learn so much of her music that I didn't know for this tribute. And Good Morning, Heartache was one of the best songs that I learned that I love. So that was a little snippet, whatever. I appreciate y'all. I'm very embarrassed right now. But okay, I gotta get out of here, y'all. I got something to get to. You say you would have walked out? Well, thank God. You know, we don't need haters in the audience. There's always one, ain't it, y'all? Kick this guy at the Jazz Club. Get this guy. This guy stinks. You're no longer invited to the Jazz Club. Gosh darn it. But yeah, I'm glad y'all liked it. It was fun. And you see the flower. I decorated the stand with roses and stuff like that. It was great. It was a great experience. I also did Amy Winehouse tribute too. I don't know if you guys are into Amy Winehouse, but I am a huge fan of Amy Winehouse. So I was able to do a tribute on her as well. And did like a little jazzy blues set too. So I be doing a lot. But I'll take y'all advice. I've been told this too, like do another channel for my performances and music. If y'all feeling that, You know what I mean? I'll do more. I'll take it a step further. Maybe I should do members too. Maybe I should start a membership. I was trying to wait till I get to a certain amount of subscribers because I feel like, I don't know. I don't have like a overinflated ego where I feel like, I need members and y'all need to pay me. And I just feel like, bro, let the shit happen naturally. Okay. If the people like it, they're gonna come. You know what I'm saying? So, but I appreciate y'all so much for showing me love. I appreciate that. I don't know why I'm getting all sentimental right now. For real. I appreciate the support. Truly. I know I got to get out my head. You're right. I appreciate y'all. For real. But y'all, I really have to go. I appreciate y'all so much for being here today. This Nolan Wells case is really exhausting me. I don't know if I have the capacity to keep up with every last detail, especially if we're not getting closer to the truth, but I'm going to do my best. We're going to switch it up on the topics this week and next week. I'm going to do a poll. Yeah, well, listen, it is what it is. You did this, and now it is. Like, we're here now. So find something else to harass me about. I appreciate you being here. I appreciate all of you guys being here. Once again, make sure you like, share, and subscribe if you're new here and if you enjoyed the show. And hype the video once it's all said and done. If you want to contribute to the channel, $ more jazz, you can definitely hit up. Let me make sure I got the super chats. Oh, okay. There was 10 jewels. Thank you, Big Sean's, for the jewels. I love jewels. I love that. Thank you for the 6 jewels and the makeup brush. Okay, thank you. I appreciate. Are you saying I need more makeup on? What does that mean? What does that mean, Big Sean's? No. I'm kidding. I appreciate y'all. Until next time, we out. Thank you for the gold coins. Okay, show me some love on the way out of here, Big Sean. Thank you. I appreciate y'all. For real. Thank you. Hit the like, hit subscribe, hype the video, and I'll see y'all next time. I appreciate y'all. Bye.
She log on, camera on, let it breathe. Reads the facts when she cuts through the weeds. No fake smile, no borrow ring. If it's bogus, she gon' say that thing. Black